coaches and the players, and so we're actually going to listen in on Coach Willie Green right now. I will stop talking and take it away, Coach.
Good morning to everybody. Thank you guys for being here. Per usual, I am super excited about the opportunity to represent this organization. I'm grateful for to be under the leadership of Ms. Benson and the addition of Joe D, which you guys spoke to him yesterday. And we're all eager to with our team to get on the floor, with our coaching staff, to get going tomorrow. Training camp starts tomorrow, so we're all excited about that. And with that, open it up for questions.
Joe talked about yesterday just the amount of time that y'all have spent together this summer, kind of figuring out how you want this team to look. And what's it been like just kind of developing that relationship and getting to know him and figure out his vision?
It's been great. We've already had a rapport from my time growing up in Detroit, obviously watching him win championships and represent that city well, even going into the NBA. So that rapport has, helped, kind of give us a boost, so to speak. And, he's right. We just continue to talk every day, talk about, what the team should look like, continue to bounce ideas off each other, and it's been great so far.
Well, what are you gonna like about what you heard from him, the message he's trying to instill?
It's really aligned with, my thinking as well. To put a competitive team on the floor, for guys to continue to work hard and every day show up and put forth the effort to hold each other accountable. And so those are the things that I've always spoken about, and it's great to align with Joe D, and he's thinking the same way.
Does he have a different kind of leadership style than Griff did? And what are some of the main differences between the two you've seen so far, if any?
Yeah, I think, all leaders are going to lead a little differently. And, the thing that I love about Joe D is I can pop in his office. We continue to have open discussions. Our streamline of communication has been really good. And he's been a leader everywhere he's gone. You look at him in college, you look at him in the NBA, in the NBA front office. And so for me, it's really about an opportunity to learn from him, to continue to grow as a coach. And he's been extremely helpful thus far in that.
Willie, in past years, you've talked about how you've dissected over the summer
Previous seasons.
Yeah.
So how did you look at last season? How did you spend this summer? What do you think about it?
Yeah, last season was definitely a difficult season, with all the injuries, the losses, and it left a bad taste in our mouths, so to speak. So the first thing I do is try to evaluate myself, try to hold myself accountable to what some things that I could have done better. What's some things that we did do well, try to continue to do those. The biggest thing is when you go through a season like that is, continue to be disciplined, continue to walk into the gym, practice court, and be consistent. But the improvement for me is continue to communicate with my players as I go through different situations, communicating with front office, and keep the streamline of communication open. But then realizing that everybody on your team is extremely important. So the development piece will be important as we move forward.
Joe's modified the roster pretty significantly in a short period of time.
Yeah.
How does the collection that y'all have now fit with what you've been wanting to build here for a while?
I like our roster. I like the guys that we've added, adding Sadiq Bey, Jordan Poole, being able to acquire Looney, along with, our rookies who've been here for a while this summer. So it's a combination of, guys that are still young but are veterans, and then, we got some young first-year players as well that will be instrumental in our success. So I like the group. We just got to get on the floor and continue to work and then go from there.
Specifically to the veterans, especially like
Looney and Poole, who have won NBA championships, like how valuable do you think that will be to the locker room?
It's extremely valuable. I had the pleasure and opportunity to coach Looney in Golden State for 3 seasons. So I've watched his growth from being a sort of a rookie coming in and developing into a consummate pro. His approach to the game, learning from other guys. He learned from Draymond. He learned from Iguodala. He learned from David West and Steph Curry and Clay. And now he can step into that role for our group as a guy that he can step on the floor and help you, but he'll also mentor some of our younger bigs, some of our younger players on how to do it the right way. Same thing with Jordan Poole. Those guys have done it at an extremely high level. They've won championships. And so when you have guys like that on your team, it's really helpful for the whole group.
And when Joe talked about his conversations with Zion, being accountable and responsible, have you had those conversations with him as well? And if so, how did that affect?
Yeah, for sure. We've both been aligned with that communication with Z. Number one, I think, just from watching him, he's done a really good job of, getting himself ready to play this season. And so that's something that, I want to commend him for. But the accountability and responsibility part for Zion, especially stepping into this role, is going to be important for him. And I think Joe D kind of touched on that, but that's for all of our players, but definitely it's going to be huge for him.
Do you think the fact that Joe played in the league, does that kind of help get that message across better, maybe?
It does. It does. He's done it. There's no way to go around him with that. He's done it at an extremely high level, and he's had multiple roles in the NBA. So he knows when he sees something. He knows when something's going right. He knows when we need to make some adjustments.
A lot of times, rookies take a few months or a while to become impactful at the NBA level. So, as a coach, how do you balance giving them the runway they need to also grow and fail, but also winning the game in front of you, like on a night-to-night basis?
Yeah, I think it's just that. It is a balance. It's a balance of allowing them to be on the floor and play through a few mistakes. I think they have to do that. That's how young players are able to grow. It's also a balance of when to kind of pull them out of games or, talk to them during practice and teach moments and then get them back in. And that's the balance with rookies. That's the balance with younger players as they become, as they get more experience in the NBA.
You've got some older teams when you've been here. Of course, this team is probably closer to that first team you had with the amount of young guys on the roster. Does that kind of change your approach when you have more younger players, more unproven guys on the roster, and knowing you'll have some of those veteran guys like CJ or B.I., some of the guys you've been able to lean on in the past?
I think the standard is the standard, no matter who you have on your team, who we have. We want to step out on the floor right away and establish that. Being a good defensive team will be important. Being able to play with space and speed, but ultimately it's the accountability of going out each and every night and competing at a high level.
Coach, when you say the standard's the standard, is there a number on that? Is it 40 wins? Is it 50 wins? What does the standard look like to you?
Again, I know Joe spoke to you guys yesterday about this, but our mindset going into the season is competing. And if we look back at last season and how we can improve, that's the number one step for us, is moving forward to being a competitive team, our guys having fun doing it, supporting each other. We believe when we do that, the wins will take care of itself.
Hey, Coach, what have you seen from Herb and from Trey in their recoveries, and what are reasonable expectations for them this season?
I like what I've seen from both guys. They did a fantastic job of attacking their rehab all summer. They're cleared to go, so they're back on the floor playing 5-on-5, bumping and getting up and down the floor, getting a feel for their bodies. They're going to be huge for us this season. And, having guys like Trey and Herb, the character that they bring to our team, the leadership that they bring to our team, they're really pillars of our group, and we're going to rely heavily on them.
Trey made a big jump last year, with more opportunities on the ball.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for him this year as he kind of steps into that role full time?
I think the beauty in Trey is he has a personality that he wants it. Like, he wants more opportunities to showcase his skill set. And we'll do our best, as we always do, to try to put him in positions to be successful. I love the fact that he has a combination of all. He can play a little off the ball. He's a great cutter, great finisher. We know that he shoots the ball at an extremely high level, so he can attack closeouts. And then we started to see him play in a little bit more pick and roll situations, handling the ball, bringing it up the floor. And so as long as he continues to work like he does, sky's the limit. I really believe that.
Coach, you got 2 first-round rookies. Can you talk about, they seem to have big personalities. They seem ultra competitive. Can you talk about where you feel like they are fitting, where they're going to fit right away with this team?
Well, the first fit is the character piece, in both Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears. Extremely, great young men, and that's what we're always seeking. And then the competitive piece, watching them, from the draft process to summer league to now being able to play in the summer. Once we've gotten back here in August, at least with Jeremiah, they're both ultra competitors. I think for our group, that's what we want to have. We want to have guys that step on the floor every night, every practice, every shoot around, every film session, and they're bringing it. And those 2 guys, they exemplify that.
Outside of Derek and DeJounte, is there anyone limited heading into camp?
No, not at this moment. No, just those 2 guys.
And with DeJounte Ailing, Jeremiah Pierce being a rookie, lots going to be put on Jordan Poole's shoulders. Have you had discussions about that with him this season, what he should expect?
For sure. He and I have been having some text messages, some talks lately about what's expected. But he understands that. He's a guy that, you look at his path in Golden State, probably wasn't playing a lot his first season, more playing time, become a champion, a lot on his shoulders in Washington. So we believe we're getting Jordan at just the right opportunity, just the right time in his career. And he's a guy that wants it, works extremely hard. He's in the gym night in and night out. And so, it's still going to be a collective effort. We'll need some guys to step up, but it's going to be collectively. It won't be just one guy that is going to carry the load.
Kind of going off that, Jordan's a guy who his career's taken, a couple different turns. He's in Golden State.
Yeah.
They don't win that title without him. He gets a max contract and then traded. Now just trying to kind of, find his next place and kind of bounce back from that, I guess. Have you kind of talked to him at all about his path at all and what he's trying to achieve here, and what have those conversations been like?
Yeah, we have. We've had some good discussions about that. He's excited, man. He's excited about the talent that he gets to play with. He's excited about the character in our locker room. He knows that this is a great opportunity for himself, and he's about winning. That's the biggest thing about him. He's a worker. He's about winning. He has a winning attitude, and he's another one of our players that is high character, hard worker, competitor. So we're looking forward to it.
And when looking at this trip to Australia, what does team feel like?
We're excited about it. It's a long flight, but once you get past that and once you get on ground, we're excited to engage with the fans there. I think this is a really good time for team building, for bonding with our group. So we'll spend a lot of time together in Australia. Yeah.
Hawkins, just where he is timeline-wise, contractually and everything. What is a reasonable pathway for him to take the next step this coming season?
Well, I think he was trending in the right direction. He had some injuries last season that kind of hurt him, but we all play an intricate role in wanting to see him do well, and it's my responsibility, along with my staff, to try to put him in situations that give him an opportunity to be at his best. He is a hooper. He loves to play. He's another hard worker. He's been in the weight room this summer, kind of, putting on some pounds. So he's eager to get on the floor. It's going to be a good year for him. We anticipate and having some good discussions with him about just going out, playing hard, playing free, being competitive. And when he's playing like that, he's very dangerous.
He put up some big numbers last year despite being on minutes restrictions, a big chunk of it. What do you like about how he finished last season, and how are you looking on him to build on that going into this season?
Yeah, Will, to your point, he finished the season strong with his playmaking ability. His conditioning was at a high level, and we just want to see more of that. We want to see him be consistent in that role. The ball in his hands, attacking, finding his teammates. I thought he took a huge step forward defensively, and that's going to be required for all of our guys. So just continue along that process, be consistent with it.
Bringing in a veteran like LeBron Mooney, who's a champion in the league, how can that help develop Eve in his second year in the league coming in this season?
Well, the fact that Eve is going to watch Loon in practice, he's going to be watching him in the weight room, watch his approach. When you have good examples in front of you in any capacity, you take hold of that. And I've watched Loon already. Obviously, I was with him early in his career. He's talking a lot, way more than he used to. And so he's pouring into some of our young guys already. He'll take a few bigs down to the basket. They'll work on things. I think it's huge growth for Eves and Carlo.
You've had some turnover on your staff. What can you tell us about the additions that you've made to your coaching staff?
Yeah, we've added Mike Hopkins, former Syracuse assistant, head coach at UW, and then he came over from the Phoenix Suns. So great energy, really knowledgeable, a ton of experience. We're excited to have him. We elevated Greg Monroe to a full-time kind of player development, assistant coach player development role. He's another guy that, again, had a really good NBA career. We believe that helps our group when we have coaches that have played the game that are now transitioning into coaching, because they can see the game from a sort of a different lens, if that makes sense. And so he's really been key with helping our bigs.
With Zion between the end of last season and now, are there any specific things you've seen that you could cite or highlight that might illustrate the next step in his evolution as both a player and a professional? Anything different that you saw about him in that period?
I saw his work this summer, his attention to his body, his conditioning. He understands that he wants to be available for his teammates, and when he's available, when he can step out on the floor and be accountable to that, he's one of the best players in the NBA. And so that's something that I saw this summer that he's working towards.
I'm sure you have an idea of what this team is going to look like when all the pieces come together, but what are you looking for out of training camp and actually seeing how they fit?
We have an idea. You always walk in with an idea of how you want to play. But just from my experience, your team also teaches you, what works, what doesn't work. And for me, it's quickly understanding that, identifying what our guys are great at doing, what doesn't work. We'll go away from some of those things. But, our main principles will be the same. We'll be a team that competes on the defensive end. We want to be a team that rebounds the ball on both ends of the floor. We want to play fast and share the basketball, have fun doing it. And I think when we keep those concepts in mind, that always is helpful.
Speaking of playing fast, what kind of traits in Jordan Poole's game do you think can add to this offense?
Well, he's learned from one of the best, and that's Steph Curry. He's learned from Klay Thompson and Andre Iguodala, and so he brings that level of competition, but also the speed in which he plays in. He can get going pretty quickly, and so his ability to shoot the ball, drive, finish at the basket, competing on the defensive end. He understands what championship level basketball looks like. So he's going to bring that to our team right away. And having him on the floor with Trey and Jordan Hawkins at times, with Zion, I think can be some matchup problems for teams.
Coach, correct me if I'm wrong, but in 2006, did y'all play with the Sixers? Did y'all play in Europe?
We did.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you talked about that bonding experience, going to Australia and stuff like that. How was that for y'all in 2006 and everything like that with the team in terms of building that?
I got to think back to 2006. That was a while ago. You're making me feel old. But I've had a number of these experiences with teams that we take a trip to a different country, and I think it's always great to just spend time with your teammates. You eat dinner together, you go into practices, you're just having fun, learning about each other, and a lot of times you come out of those trips, with a better understanding for each other off the floor, and that helps you, during the highs and lows of a long NBA season.
Really, most teams that add 2 lottery picks usually are considered rebuilding teams, but as we know, that's not the case here. How do you expect to navigate that situation, trying to get those guys acclimated, but get them a decent amount of time, development, and run?
Yeah, I think we have a tremendous staff in place. We all collectively work together to, continue to look at our team, look at our young guys, and again, it comes down to the balance of it. What's the balance in making sure our guys are growing, getting opportunities to play on the floor. They got to earn it. That's a big part of it. They got to earn the opportunity, to earn the right to step on the floor and compete. And then at the same time, how do I allow them to make mistakes and play through them? That'll be important for our group. How do I, sometimes I got to pull guys, talk to them, teach them, and then get them back on the floor. And so that's the balance for the coaching staff and I. That's the balance for our front office that, we continue to have talks about.
Coach, Jody Mars referenced them yesterday. He referenced the Oklahoma City Thunder. You're your own coach with your own team, but there are some parallels. Small market, young team, young coach, with a very clear superstar. Is there anything about watching their journey in the playoffs yesterday that made you kind of go, that's what we want to shoot for? Obviously, do it your own way, but is there anything about that journey that you thought, that's kind of where I want to go with this?
It is. It's definitely something that you watch their team, and you can't help but to try to pull some nuances, some concepts that you want to apply to your group. I think it started with their connectivity. If you watch them, we all joked about their interviews, but those guys were together every time you look. They're together in commercials, they're together on the floor, they're celebrating. That camaraderie, I believe, allows them to have each other's backs and support each other on the floor when it's game time. They were one of the best historically defensive teams that we've seen. So again, that connectivity on the defensive end, to look to the left, look to the right, and know that your brother's there. And so there's some similarities with, how they built their team and where we are now, and we definitely we'll pull a few concepts, but again, we want to establish our own identity as well.
Last year, the team struggled a little bit on the defensive glass. Sometimes there's going to be units that are less strong in that area that you have to put out there for offense or for spacing for whatever reason. Just how can you bridge the gap when it comes to the possession battle if you're not able to be like a top 5 defensive rebounding team, or just that unit isn't that particularly strong at it?
Yeah, it's just work at it. We definitely identified last season that we were getting stops and teams were getting second chance opportunities on us. So identifying the issue, and then the solution is continue to watch it, continue to teach it, go on the floor, and let's continue to work on it. Let's look at groups. We have to continue to look at which groups are better at rebounding, better at finishing possessions, and how can we stay extremely competitive on that side of the ball.
One of the big talking points in the finals was, or just throughout the playoffs, was how far teams are pressing ball handlers after they inbound the ball after a made basket. I know you guys have traditionally been a team without a pretty high pickup point, but Is there an even greater emphasis on that, this season, especially, as Joe talked about yesterday, you obviously want to play 10, 11, 12 deep, kind of throwing bodies at people, pressing them throughout the game?
Yeah, there's definitely an emphasis on being a team that picks up 94 Fleet. We believe that, not allowing teams to play comfortable, not allowing them to bring the ball down the floor and get into their offense, and then more importantly, they get to several different options of their offense for the teams that don't pressure. So it's something that we're always looking at. We're looking at opportunities that, we can be really aggressive in those moments. And, when you have a deep team, you can continue to put pressure on the ball.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you. Thank you all.
Just starting off, just how are you feeling physically? I know Joe said you've been already, participating in scrimmages and stuff like that. Just how close are you to feeling like yourself again?
I feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm there. Obviously, just continue to keep playing, keep getting my touch back, keep getting my rhythm back. I haven't played since March 17th before last Thursday, so it takes a little time, but that's what preseason training camp and all that is for. It was tough, but I think it helped me because it made me, sit down and just actually give my body some rest, give myself some time from basketball, made me miss it a little bit more, and it gave me a new little hunger to the next season.
Trey, what do you think of the team around you now that Joe's put together? There's a lot of new faces.
Depth, young depth, and I think that's going to be a big help for us, especially, in the Western Conference is a tough conference, and we have a lot of people there. We have a lot of different teams that are going to be competing, but I think what separates us is our youth and our speed, and I really feel like we're going to do really well this year based on, the guys that we've added and, just the way that we all fit as a collective.
Unfortunately, it's kind of been a thing for you for the past couple of years being limited during the summers. Just what was your approach this summer, not being able to take contact for a lot of it, but still finding ways to get better?
I think really what changed was just that, I had to work on different things earlier in the summer because I wasn't really able to, shoot threes until like middle of July or so. It was hard to shoot threes, so I worked a lot on, mid-range shots and getting to that second level. The contact portion, obviously I wanted to, play, but I think it was just, it gave me time to slow down and really just work on things I really need to work on.
Do you have a different sense of confidence heading into camp this season, just knowing that you didn't have to go through any of the contract stuff, all that's taken care of, your future's pretty locked in?
Not necessarily. I would say that obviously having a contract locked in and not really having to think about that is, it's a way off your shoulders, but I don't think it really affected me basketball-wise too much because, I knew I was gonna be fine. Whether that was last year or this year, I knew I was going to be fine. And so I think the biggest thing is just trusting my work and preparing for the season and getting ready to lead my team.
With CJ being gone, does that give you more of an opportunity to take on more of a leadership role, you feel like?
Even if he was here, I probably still would have taken the same leadership role. I just think as I've grown and, this is my 5th year in the building. And as crazy as that sounds to me, I feel like you have to step into those roles. You have to step into, being a leader, especially for the goals that I have for myself. I have to, be a leader for this team in order for us to win games and, make it far.
Sure. What can you say about the addition of Jordan Poole? Seems like you guys already had a relationship. Now he's been added to the team, kind of replaces CJ. What can you say about his game and what he's going to bring to the team?
Yeah, super dynamic and good dude. Really, it brings a good dynamic to the locker room. As soon as he got traded, first of all, I was shocked. Kind of, I thought it was kind of fake actually when I saw the news, but it was cool. I called him that day and we talked for like 2 hours about different stuff about the team and then just like how we want to get things done this year. So really excited to have him on the team.
You went up in a huge jump in points per game last season. You also went up in rebounds and assists per game. There was an injury bug issue. You got a lot of opportunities because of that. Now people coming back healthy, how do you maintain that production while also obviously playing team basketball?
Yeah, that's what the summer work is for. You just tighten up your skills, get better. I think there's different ways that I'm going to be able to, showcase my game that I wasn't able to last year because of, just confidence in my work. And I know this summer I put in a lot of work. And I feel like our team is just structured in a way where I can help these guys a lot with, my scoring ability, my gravity, and then also my added playmaking.
What do you notice from Zion and the work that he's been putting in this summer?
He looks good. Yeah, he looks good right now. He's slimmer than I've ever seen him during the summertime, which is always a really good sign. And, I just feel like he's in a really good place mentally.
Joe talked about hanging out with Zion, watching games with him. What have your interactions been with him and maybe talking about what he did in Detroit and how you get to a place like that?
We've had a lot of conversations. Me and Joe, when I got to Summer League, me and him had almost a 2-hour conversation and just talked about a lot of different things, his expectations, what I expect, different things that, we feel about the team, our outlook on winning, mindset, but just a bunch of different things. And so it's good to talk to him, especially because he was a player and he was a winner. Like, that's where I want to be as a player, as a winner. And so, hearing him, picking his brain on that aspect is not something that you're able to get a lot throughout the NBA. So, it's very valuable to have him as the president.
How familiar are you guys of your generation with the bad boys that he was a part of? Have any of you gone back and looked at old highlights?
I am. I'm not that young. Like I'm young, but not that young. So I know even before he was the GM, I knew who they were. I've watched them, not watch them live play, obviously, but watch back on highlights and stuff like that. So I'm very aware of, how they played, what their mindset was, their philosophies and stuff like that. So I know he's probably thinking about bringing some of that championship DNA here.
We talked about Jordan's obsession with the game and being in the gym and everything like that. Have you really seen that, and how much do you need that type of mindset on this team this year?
Say that one more time for me. I'm sorry.
Joe had talked about Jordan's obsession
Yeah.
with the game and the mindset and everything like that. How much have you seen that, and how much do you need that mindset in his team?
I'll give you an example. I heard a ball bouncing this morning when I was coming in for physicals, and JP was working out on the court already. So I think it just shows you what type of guy he is when it comes to working out and taking his game seriously. When we were in Laguna, after everybody was done, me and him worked out once again. So I know he really takes it seriously. And, you love seeing guys do stuff like that because then it makes me think, all right, now I have to work harder, or I'm going to make sure I'm still working because I know he's going to be right behind me.
What's it like getting to know Fears and Queen, and what do you think those guys can add to this team?
Those little dudes are funny, man. They're something else. They're really characters, and most of the time rookies come in, they're a little shy, like they try to step on anybody's toes. They try to just, be within themselves. They have not been that at all. Maybe have to dial them back a little bit. But, Fears, he seems like he's a quiet kid, but he also is very outgoing. He competes at a really high level. Queen is goofy, like really goofy. And he has a really good spirit about himself. Like, people really gravitate towards him because of his spirit. And then Micah, he's a good kid, really good kid. And he's been really outgoing, asking a lot of questions, wants to learn. And so, you have a good group of young guys that really want to learn and aren't, dismissive or just standoffish, which is a really good thing.
You talked about playmaking, adding guys like Jordan and Jeremiah can add an explosive dynamic to his offense. How do guys like that on the court help best complement you offensively?
One, they can play off the ball or on the ball because I know for sure I'll have on-ball reps, and so they'll have to space out and be ready for me to find them. Or, if they're on the ball, then I'll space out for them. But the biggest thing is that we all have to play for each other. So I think both of them can do that. And low key, I do. In all honesty, because I think Jeremiah's 18 or 19. He's 18. I'm 20. I'm 7 years older than him. That doesn't even make any sense. I was always the young guy on the team, and now I got kids on this team. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Chris, what were your impressions of Mooney as an opponent, just going against him and what he can bring here?
Hated playing against him, so I'm going to love having him on the team. Very excited for what he brings, especially at the basketball IQ standpoint, and somebody that can pass the ball, somebody that knows how to play basketball, somebody's going to screen hard, rebound really hard, something that I think we've missed, a lot within the last probably 2 years for sure. So I think he'll add a big dynamic for that.
How much did you talk to her after you guys both had sustained those shoulder injuries and stuff, talking about this season, what you guys wanted to do?
Everybody mistakes us for the same person for some reason. And then we had surgery on the same shoulder, and our surgeries were both on Wednesdays. So, our days kind of coincided. So, it's all right, at this point, I understand where people are coming from. But during the summer on Wednesdays, we check in on each other because those were, our benchmarks and stuff like that. And, as it got to, week 20, we stopped checking in. But we actually got cleared at the exact same time, too. So, it's crazy how it happens. But, I guess we just have to embrace it at this point.
March 17th, did you know you'd be back when the season opened? Were you pretty determined to get back?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wasn't. That's been the biggest thing is I just want to make sure I'm there for the start of the season, ready to play. And, obviously you don't have any control over, the recovery process. A lot of times you just try to do the best that you can, but I knew I was going to put my best foot forward into attacking this rehab process.
Is it a goal to be an all-star this year?
Absolutely.
I know some of this is based on the end of last season, but the projections are 30 wins, 32 wins for this team. Do you pay attention to that? And can you use maybe some of that as fuel?
I have a photo album in my phone that has every slight against the Pelicans or myself. So I think that can answer your question.
Thanks, Trey.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Trey.
Just how are you feeling physically, and what's the summer been like for you just trying to rehab that shoulder?
I'm feeling great. Ready to get training camp started. But the summer was great. I think June was probably the toughest month, just trying to, get the strength back into the shoulder. But I mean, overall, it was a great summer.
How much did you just miss playing basketball?
I missed it, but at the same time, that was probably my first break from basketball since 8th grade, maybe. You know, so it was good to kind of reset and get my mind, you know, focused on the things that I needed to focus on to get back to being heard.
Seems like a lot of the messaging for the new regime, running things, it fits off court, it fits your personality on court. How do you feel like you fit in with this new, like, Joe Dumars and all that?
What you mean?
It just meant, like, how do you think you fit in their, like, mindset? How do you agree or mold with them?
I mean, I do think we have similarities in the ways that, you know, he sees the game and how he wants the game to be played. And I feel like I've kind of been that my whole life, just playing hard regardless of the score or record. And I think that, you know, would take us a long way.
What's the biggest difference that you've noticed with Dumars around?
I mean, his energy is different. You could tell he played, you know, he understands. I mean, he gets it, you know, so he's kind of easy, he's super easy to talk to.
You talk about having that mental reset. How do you think that kind of helped you the most?
I mean, it was just refreshing, you know, to be able to kind of break my game down, give my body some time to rest, and then just attack the rehab, you know, to try to get the most out of it, you know, that I could. And I feel like, you know, I maximized my time off to get ready for the season.
Were you able to get some fishing done with the
For sure. I didn't get to fish a lot because of the shoulder, of course, but, you know, once they cleared me to be able to fish, I was back in Alabama probably the next weekend.
Herb, you didn't get a lot of time to play with Eve Misi last season, but to me, he does a lot of things kind of like you that don't always show up on the stat sheet. A lot of good defensive, mental, knowing what to do on defense a lot. Obviously, you have Jose Alvarado, and, you know, fans were begging to have you be first team all defense. You got that under your belt. Are you going to try to go for Defensive Player of the Year this year? I mean, I know the obvious answer, but how important is that to you to get that accolade also?
It's not as important as winning. So if I don't get the trophy and we win a championship, I'm perfectly fine with that. It's not a goal I just set out to try and achieve. I just try to show up and be there for my teammates, and, you know, sometimes that may end up in a highlight block that you guys may consider a highlight or, you know, a steal, but I just try to show up for my teammates.
To that point, the projection, some of it's based on the way that the season finished last year, but like, it'd be like 30 wins for this team, or 32 wins. Do you pay attention to any of that, and can you use that as fuel, maybe some of those low expectations?
I mean, I think some people can, but I try not to pay attention to anything anybody says about the Pelicans, just to keep a clear mind, you know. Coming into work, I don't want to be worried about, you know, what somebody said we may finish or, you know, how many wins we might get. Time will tell. You know, if we show up and do the work, I'm confident in our team.
Joe said yesterday one of the reasons why they liked Jordan was because of his age and the fact that he fits the timeline with you and Trey and Zion. Are you all cognizant or talk about the fact that you are entering the prime of your career when other players have historically won championships and this may be the best opportunity at success?
Nah, I mean, I've kind of been a day-by-day guy. I come in and talk to him, you know, about certain things defensively that we might try to do, but the age thing, I haven't really had conversations about all of us being. I think we all know, you know, so it's not a conversation we need had.
At that point, Trey just talked about young depth. How do you feel about that perspective and, you know, you guys still being young, but in a sense still vets too?
Yeah, it is crazy that they're considering me a vet. I thought it was year 7 when you become a vet, but I mean, they've kind of been calling me a vet just because of how, you know, I move and the way I go about my work. But I mean, it's an honor, you know, to be around, especially in the same organization for 5 years and to get that title. I mean, we just got to show up and be professional and kind of lead the way for the younger guys.
To that point too, I consider you a vet, consider one of the best defensive players in the NBA. What you do on the court is obviously you have your own mentality, the own way that you approach the game. You have somebody now as a vet put an arm around a guy like a Jeremiah Fears or even Jordan Hawkins. From the defensive standpoint, what sort of advice would you give those guys to mimic your style? Because that style of defense is something that not a lot of players have.
I mean, I think it's all effort. And I tell guys, you don't have to be first team defense. You just have to give an effort, and I think that'll take care of itself. If you try, you can't. No one can say you didn't, and that's all I ask of any of my teammates.
You signed a contract this summer. How did that conversation come about, and why was it important for you to secure a long-term future here in New Orleans?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to be in New Orleans, and I know a lot of people. They probably had a lot to say about the amount or, the years, but my family is taken care of. I love New Orleans. And they gave me a chance to sign a contract to stay here. And I took that chance, It's nothing like, being able to take care of your family, especially coming from, where I come from in Alabama. I kind of looked at it as a once-in-a-lifetime thing, so I mean, it was definitely a blessing to get that done. I mean, I was just ready to get to work.
What do you love about New Orleans?
The people. I'm close to home. I'm 4 hours away from home, so my family gets to come down and watch me play. They don't have to hop on a plane every time, to come see me play. So that's huge.
There's been a lot of changes in the organization since you got here, but through it all, you've had the same head coach. How big is having that continuity and familiarity with Willie?
It's definitely great. Especially to be here, the same amount of time coming in with Coach, and then still being here, despite the things that have happened in the past. That shows that, the city of New Orleans, they believe in him and trust him. We believe in him and trust him, and like I said, I think we're just ready to kind of get back out and, get to work. Oh, damn, my bad, bro.
Joe highlighted guys like Jeremiah Fears and Jordan Poole and talked about their obsession with basketball. You being a gym rat yourself, what have you seen from those guys this summer in their dedication to the game?
They didn't lie about, being in the gym. And they're extremely hard workers, so that's nothing that I wouldn't expect anything else from them but being in the gym.
What did you notice from Zion this summer?
What you mean?
Like just as far as, like Trey said, he's come in his slimmest maybe since he's been here. And there's been obviously a lot of talk of like maybe being more dedicated or just putting in extra work this summer.
I mean, I was out doing my rehab for majority of the summer. So I wasn't here to see it, and I don't ask about anybody when I go back to, especially in the summers. Like I try to give guys their space and time to, work on their games. But I mean, from what I know, Z's been working hard. I'm sure he's been coming back in at nights, to work out. But I'm excited to see, what he's improved on once training camp starts.
What do you know about Kevon Looney? And have you guys had any discussions? He, of course, takes pride in the defensive end and talking as well.
Yeah, we haven't talked much about, any defensive schemes. I'm just trying to get to know him as a person so that, once we build that relationship, it's easier to do the basketball side of things.
Trey talked about y'all regularly checking in on each other during the summer as y'all went through the rehab and, the Wednesdays, y'all had the surgery on the same day. Just what was that like, kind of having somebody that you could relate to going through the same rehab, same shoulder, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it was crazy that, his injury happened, I think, the day that I got my stitches out. But I think it was tougher on us just because we love the game so much. But I think in hindsight, it was probably a blessing for us to, go through that season of, just being still, having to sit down and really just pay attention and watch, and try to grow from the sidelines. And I think both of us took a step in leadership and in our games.
What was your impression of Jordan Poole going against him as an opponent in terms of how much of a threat he is of
I mean, he just ran. It just felt like he ran around a lot, you know. Like it was always a pain to have to guard him because he never stopped moving. But I knew he was a great dude. I had some mutual friends that went to school with him. I mean, I kind of met him before, you know, the trade happened. So, you know, when the trade happened, it was kind of seamless for us to, you know, gel.
I know him as a very flashy guy off the court. I think I always joke about it. I remember you walk into a game just wearing the same Pelicans gear that they give you. Other people always come up like it's, you know, fashion, it's that kind of thing. With the new contract and the time off, did you go treat yourself at all?
Nothing changed. Nothing changed.
Why not?
I mean, if my family is good, I'm cool. I know I probably said that the last time they asked about it, but I don't really care about what anybody says about clothes. So, like, it's kind of, especially going to a basketball game, you know, probably keep you. I mean, no, I get it, you know, to each his own. But it was just never instilled to dress up to go to a basketball game. And I was always a guy to, you know, we just need to get to the gym because, I mean, you're putting your uniform on 5 minutes into the, you know, once you get in the locker room. So, but I get it though. You know.
Are you excited for this trip to Australia?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's my first time. You know, it's probably the longest flight, but I think it'll be an interesting trip.
You gonna get a chance to see any of the exotic and dangerous wildlife in Australia?
No, I probably won't take that chance. I'll go out there, play basketball, go back, maybe get some food. But
what about? I noticed we mentioned clothes. What about hairstyle? Like you and Trey seem to have a similar one right now. I don't know if that's coincidence or if that's a thing or.
I mean, I just did it during rehab, just something to do. And then DeJounte told me, he was like, you know, you're not gonna keep him. You're gonna go back to your fro. So I kind of did it to prove him wrong.
All right, thank you guys.
Appreciate it. Yep. Appreciate you.
Just what's the rehab process been like, and how are you feeling?
Man, it's been great. You know, just taking it one day at a time, and you know, making sure the mental's there, and obviously all the physical things, and really just attacking it like no other.
And with a lot of people going through that particular injury, they talk about the mental toll on the daily, the monotonous. What's that been like trying to get through that part of it as much as the physical part?
I mean, it's really nothing. It's really just, you know, you got to make sure the body and the mind's on the same page, and that's really the importance of it. You know, the work for me is just something I love to do, but I think the most important was just the mental part, you know, just understanding you got to go through it to get to it, and, you know, at the end of the day, stay sharp, stay focused, and you know, make sure you handle your business.
Are you ahead of where you thought you would be or about where or behind?
Nah, for sure. I mean, since April to today, I've been going 6 days a week, you know, twice a day, and just alternating, you know, pool and on court, you know, but in the training room and the weight room every single day, and just taking my time, man, but having fun with it, trying to, you know, turn the negative into a positive, and it's been just that. So, you know, I've been having fun, just seeing the progression, you know, knowing that day that it all happened, and you know, I just couldn't walk and couldn't feel my calf, and, you know, just it was a new thing. And, it was a challenge, but you know, I accepted it, and you know, I'm just continue to stay on the right road.
Turning a negative to a positive, that's kind of been your whole story, I guess. How much has what you went through helped you with this?
I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, everything, just my whole life, even, you know, just the past recently, like, just reflecting on everything. You know, I just feel like when you go through so much and you know, a man like myself that believe in God, everything happens for a reason. And, you know, everything I went through, you know, is for a reason. And I just think, you know, I'm going to come out on top and it would all make sense, you know, later down the road.
Can you give us a window into where you are in your rehab process, like what you're at and what lays ahead still for you to do, like what challenges, what you have to get past, hurdles and stuff?
I mean, what you mean by that?
Well, I just mean in the process, right? Achilles injury, any kind of severe injury, there's so many hurdles. You got to take one step at a time. But I was just curious, like where you are in that rehab process. Like, are you running, jumping? I mean, what kind of restrictions are still on you?
I could run 10 down and backs in probably 57 seconds. And this is just from all the work, you know what I'm saying? I think I could beat a lot of guys one-on-one right now, if I'm just being honest with you. And that's just the confidence, that's the work I've been doing, like I said, 6 days a week, twice a day. But the beauty of it is, you know, there's no rush. I don't feel rushed by nobody. You know, everybody's on board. And like I said, I'm just having fun. I found that joy, that happiness, you know, in life. And then also, you know, most importantly, what I love to do, which is basketball. So, you know, for me, I'm really just having fun each and every day in the weight room, on the table, and obviously on the court.
DeJounte, happy belated. What did you learn from being 28?
What I learned from being 28? First of all, thank you. Appreciate you. Man, I'm somebody that's just open-minded, you know. I feel like I can learn from people younger than me, older than me, the same age as me. You know, I'm not that guy that think I know everything. So, you know, I'm always just trying to be a sponge to learn and growing and maturing as a person, a father, and basketball player, and all those sorts of things. So I can't just say one thing. You know, every day I'm trying to just be better each and every day.
You bring a leadership quality to the court that I think was sorely missed last season. How important is being that leader on the court, being that veteran, especially with the young rookies coming in, first-round rookies with a ton of confidence, and without CJ now, with him being gone, how important is that to really be the vocal guy, be the leader on the court, not just physically playing the game, but keeping everybody in line?
I think it's just who I am as a person, you know, no matter what room I go in. You know, but for the younger guys, older guys, like I said, we're going to teach each other, we're going to learn each other. And just me as an individual, you know, I'm here, you know. Obviously, I have a goal for myself to continue to get healthy and get back to, you know, basketball shape where I'm healthy and ready to go. You know, but besides that, you know, I'm here to support the guys, you know, training camp, practices, games, film, and just being that support system for them, you know, telling them what I see and where they could be better, and, you know, even them helping me, you know, because like I said, I'm around, I'm going to be here, and I'm going to be supporting them. So, you know, you just got to go through it. Attack each day. Don't look in the past. Don't look ahead, you know. Just try to attack today, and that's about it.
Adding veterans like Jordan Poole, like Looney, guys that have won championship, how valuable do you think that is, and how needed do you feel like that was from seeing what it was last year?
I mean, you don't focus on the past, man. Obviously, those are, you know, two great guys. You know, you got to add in a guy like Sadiq Bey as well. You know, a great guy. I was teammates with him in Atlanta. And, you know, professionalism is everything. And, you know, when you define that, you know, for us in this sport, you know, I think it's just showing up on time, you know, being a great person, you know, handling your work, and just being a sponge to learning. So, you know, it's great to have, you know, new guys, but the character thing means the most, I feel like, and all three of those guys are high character guys. Three guys you hear about that they work, you know, and they don't come with no type of baggage. So it's great to, you know, be able to add some guys like that, and, you know, just got to let time allow everything to, you know, be revealed.
With that sticking in, with the age.
Say that again?
I said sticking with that, the leadership role, despite the age, of course, with you, with those guys, you got Trey, Herb, you know, other guys, y'all are already considered vets as well. Does that surprise you any, and how do you really take on that role?
I really don't try to fall into that. You know, I just try to fall into what's right and what's wrong. and how can we grow together? How can we, teach each other? Like I said, you got rookies that came in, and, we're going to be able to see things from them, whether they're playing or not playing right away. They're going to be able to see the game a different level. They're going to be able to see things in practice, and, just them feeling comfortable knowing they can go talk to the guys you say, like the vets, and, the vets coming down out of the game, out of practice, like, hey, what'd you see? It's just really communication. So, I don't like to put an age thing on it. Obviously you got guys with the experience, and the experience is going to help the younger guys with the knowledge of having that experience. But, at the end of the day, we all together and we all share the same goal, and that's to get better and win.
What do you think Joe Dumar's leadership brings to this?
I think his resume and, him as a person speaks for, who he is. I've been knowing Joe, since I came in the league. Obviously, we're going to get to know each other more, being in the same building every day. But, our talk's been great. Just his vision, no BS. I think he's coming here with a mindset that, just, hey, handle your business, do your job, and, just mainly having high character guys around and just everybody part of the organization. And, so it's great to have somebody like that around.
Did you say no BS? Is that something that some examples that you've seen that you know that he's not?
I mean, it's from the conversations. Obviously you got to allow the season to play out. Obviously we start camp tomorrow. So, you look at today's a beautiful day to be able to be around all you guys and, us take photos and stuff. But, the real stuff starts tomorrow and, moving forward, and, you just let things pan out, But like I said, his resume speaks for itself. He won as a player. He won as a GM. So he know what it takes. And that's what I mean, no BS. So, now you just got to see. You got to let everything just, fall in place.
You talked about the difficulties of last season, the injuries, off-court stuff, family stuff. What did it take to kind of get through that, and what were some of the lessons you took from that experience?
I think it was just hard. It's crazy you say that. Like, I had these conversations with, some family friends the last couple of days, and, I never really put myself first. So, I was just bottling up so much things, and, it could be good or bad. But for me, just from the life stuff, I was putting everybody in front of myself. And then obviously getting traded here last year, there was just this thing in me it's a prideful thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to show, I always want to prove each and every day. And just, I wanted to show not only the New Orleans fan base, but the organization, like, you guys traded for me, and I want to show you why you traded for me. So it was just so much on my shoulders. And, at the end of the day, I'm built for any challenge. I want nothing easy. I want to get it all out the mud. So, at the end of the day, I think what I got to learn about myself and tell myself is, sometimes it's okay to put yourself first. And me putting myself first allowed me to do great things on and off the floor.
We watched you develop a really good relationship with Zion last year. What have you seen from him since the season ended, his work this summer? What kind of steps he's taken to improve his game both on and off the court?
At the end of the day, I think he's a great person. Misunderstood. But far as the summer, I was in Vegas rehabbing. I was keeping in contact with the guys, and they was keeping in contact with me. But, as far as seeing each other, we didn't really see each other. But at the end of the day, great person, and, time will just show. The work's going to show for all of us. What you did you get better? And, hopefully he handled his business, and he's ready to go. He looks good. I seen him in our mini camp when we all met in Cali. And that was the first thing I told him, was like, your body looks good, just seeing him run up and down the floor and just, the way that his shape was. So I'm excited just to see, not only Z, but everybody.
What do you say is misunderstood?
That's somebody, he doesn't speak a lot, and obviously I don't think it's a guy that wants to just, be hurt and not play games. So, at the end of the day, you just got to see. Hopefully he's, healthy to be able to play the whole season, but I feel that way for everybody. And, that's the only way you get to really, see what you got and see who he could be.
You've spoken about him a lot publicly throughout your career, but he's officially retired now, Coach Pop. What do
Yes.
you want to say about Coach Pop and, kind of like what he's brought to the game of basketball, specifically?
Man, he's great. Like I said, that's somebody that's been a father figure to me. Really close. We talk all the time. Even recently, just hearing how he's back working and he's doing really well for himself. And because health is important. Health is wealth. And that's my guy. I love him. I wish him the best in his next chapter. I know he's still gonna be a part of the Spurs, and you can't just get away from basketball. So, that's it.
Health. Sadiq is another guy that's coming off some missing extended time. Just what have you been able to discuss with him about how he's looking forward to attacking the season?
Man, just attacking each and every day. That's a guy that works, though. He love the process. I feel like when you're around guys or you see guys that, they love the game before the game rewarded them. And what I mean by that is just you just fell in love with the game. You fell in love with just working and earning everything. And, Sadiq Bey is a guy that stands for that. And when you say his name, that's the definition of that. So, I'm just excited because I remember when he, tore his ACL versus the Pelicans when we was in Atlanta. And I was so hurt for him, because it was a big year, contract year. He was playing well, and he just was in a great space. And, like I said, that time when it happened, I was by his side from then to now. And I'm just like, just attack it. It's nothing but no work. Take care of your mental. You already work. So, I'm excited to see him just get that confidence back and go out and do what he love to do.
What has developing a relationship with Jeremiah been like so far?
Great kid, full of energy, full of life, works hard, confidence out the roof. So I'm just excited to watch him grow. Like everybody asks me about him, whether it's in the building, out the building. And, I say the same thing, man. I just hope, everybody, an organization takes his development serious and allow him to be as great as he can be, because he's already shown that he's a high character guy. He's a guy that want to work and get everything. Like, just even hearing the stories that, I know his story about he was supposed to go to Illinois and, and he's supposed to even be in college this year. And like just hearing stuff like that, he went and took the opportunity in Oklahoma and he ran with it and he made something out of nothing. So, just excited for him and want to push him and want to help him as much as I can.
You had we heard from Herb Jones a second ago. He's obviously one of the best defensive guards in the NBA, having him back. We just saw the best defense in the NBA win the title last season.
Yeah.
How important is defense? What's your defensive mentality going in here? I mean, you got a great wingspan, Trey's wingspan, Herb's wingspan. Like, how important is setting the tone on defense?
I mean, it's really important. All the great players that won at a high level, no matter, where it was, they'll tell you that, defense is something that it's got to be in you. It got to be something you want to do. There's some guys that are, able to have more than the other guy has, and I think the effort's everything. If you show effort, you don't have to like defense, but I feel like if you show effort, you'll do things that you will shock yourself. And then, there's guys like myself that I take pride in it. I was young playing with my uncle, so being that young guy, you had to get a stop to get the ball. So that's just in me. It's installed in me. And, defense win championships. Obviously, you got to put the ball in the hole, but, defense is as important.
You feel like you and the org are on the same page regarding your needs? I know this summer you talked about maybe some miscommunication in regards to your rehab or whatever you may have needed. You feel like you've had those conversations and you're working in the same direction now?
I mean, even that, that was just me sharing my experience, and at the end of the day, we're professional athletes and we deserve the best, but we also got to put the work in and be professionals, the professionalism word that I just said. And, even on that, there's a lot of great people around this building. I think it was so much going on and it's okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, people got to understand that everything's not going to be peaches and cream. And, just being on the same page and everybody getting what they need is the only way to allow you to grow and go in the right direction. So, everything's been great, Everybody's been a part of my rehab. I'm excited to be here and, show up every day and work and just be a part of the team. So, we move forward. And at the end of the day, I think the most important is being on the same page, everybody.
You have a big mind when you want to get back?
I'm working, man. I'm working. Yes, sir.
In terms of being on the same page, when one front office moves aggressively, bring you in, make you a centerpiece, sees you as their solution, and then one season later they're gone, there's a new front office. Is there anything that you have to do to get on the same page with them? Is there anything that you need to hear from them? Does it cause uncertainty or is it awkward or anything like that?
I mean, you can't really go off of hearing things, and I think that's in all the fields we're in. You know what I'm saying? Anybody could tell us anything, but it means nothing if the actions don't match it. And actions speak louder than words. So, for myself, my job is to continue to show up, be the leader I am and just work my tail off. And like I said, help the guys that want to be helped and allow people to help me. And, that's going to speak for itself, and everything else will just take care of itself. For sure. See you guys.
it been like for you getting to play summer league, getting to play, overseas and stuff, and just what are your expectations going into year two?
Summer been good. Work a lot on my body, try to lift more. The national team was good, even though we lost. It was a tough ending, but I had the opportunity to just play a lot, get some game in, and I think that's the best part of it. I feel like the more you get on the court, the better you get, so that was a big part for me. And improvement, I would say one focus for me was the defensive rebounding this year. I feel like on the offensive glass, I'm up there, but I feel like on the defensive ending, I need to just power back, box out, look more, just different technique that I tried to implement for this year. So super excited about it.
You work with Looney much, and if so, what are you kind of learning from him?
So we play a lot recently. So he just recently got back. So we play a lot of pickups. So I didn't really have time to work out with him yet, but we talk a lot. Since we're just doing encore thing during the pickup game, sometimes I just have questions for him, and he just answer me, explain to me after the day, or we did some shooting, some touches together. But we haven't did a full workout. So I can't wait for that actually.
Your physique looks noticeably stronger, bigger. How much weight have you put on? Do you know? Like how much strength or anything like that?
Not really. All I know is we've been lifting all summer. I can tell you that, but I can't tell you exactly how much weight I put in. But I know I feel more stronger. Even whenever I was playing for national team, I just felt a little stronger. So.
Do you feel like when you've been banging around in scrimmages, you feel stronger, like in terms of just boxing out, being able to handle your own against bigger guys?
Yeah, for sure. There's still a long way to go, but yeah, it feels definitely stronger.
You came in last season as a rookie, but a lot of the things you did, you kind of let the ball come to you. You didn't try to do too much. You really played team ball, kind of like you didn't play like a rookie, I guess is what I'm saying. Now you're in your second year. What did you learn from that rookie season? Now you're 2 years as a professional basketball player. What did you learn last season that you can apply to this season?
I would say last year was very different from the regular season, just by how it went. So I would say now I understand the up and down of the league. I feel like we've been pretty down, so I feel like this year we're trying to take it to another level, try to be better, and even experience. Talk to so many guys, even Ty some last year, just different guys. How about you talk to them, even Mobamba when he came in. And just them giving me some advice about the game, how the season goes, how the NBA works, they helped me. And feel like even going to year two, still learning from Looney now, or even Poole who won championship, those type of guys.
You're no longer the new guy. What is it like now transitioning into a role where you have the experience and you're seeing these a couple of young rookies come in, and now you're having to meet them?
It's good having people of my age, pretty close to my age. It's pretty good. So, no, this is extremely good fee. Just good teammates to be around. They're always in the gym as well, so they also push you to get in the gym to get some extra rep because they're always here. So, it's just good having them. Good addition for the team for sure.
Offensively, what's been the focus for you this offseason? What have you spent time working on skill-wise?
Finishing around the basket. That was on my focus whenever I went to the national team. Be more sharp around the basket, be more powerful whenever I go up. Those were the main focus for me. Also, the free throw percentage was a part of it as well.
You got to spend time with Eric Queen on the summer league team. What do you kind of see in him in his game, and how much do you think y'all are able to complement each other?
He's a great passer, great playmaker. So I think not only me, just everyone, to be honest, will be able to help them out. And I feel like him getting on the court with their feet open and the floor in general and getting involved. And I feel like with all the offensive weapon that we have, is a good addition having him as well.
What's it been like getting to know Joe Dumars? What kind of discussions have you had about him? And do you know anything about him when he was a player?
Well, great discussion. I feel like he's someone who will tell you things straight up in the face, and that's good about him. We talk about how his last season was, how he's trying to get better, his vision for the team and the organization in general. And as a player, I didn't have the opportunity to watch him as much. I wasn't so for my offense, for my defense, I wasn't watching basketball like that. So to be honest, I watched some clip.
because whenever we signed him, I knew the name, but I never actually watched some clips. So I had the opportunity to watch some clip and see the toughness he loves talking about. So yeah.
You said that having a lot of bigs was by design. How much value do you see in that?
I mean, I feel like having a lot of bigs that does different things is pretty good. You can tell, like, even based on the roster, each big has like a particular set of skills, and I feel like all combined we're a little stronger. So I like that.
Last year you started a lot of games. Do you know if that's going to continue to be your role this season?
I don't know. I mean, we'll just see. We have the training camp coming up, so I think that's where we get set up.
A lot of bigs, a lot of centers will try to pick up the three-point game. You've been working on your threes at all?
I feel like need to be able to do like the stuff around the basket first to be able to expand the game. Whenever I will be damn excelling at it, I'll probably try all the stuff. But for now, just the focus is around the paint, finishing through contact, and be focused on that.
Is there a specific part of your game that you really wanted to work on this offseason and be better at?
Like I said, the finishing was the main part for me, and also getting stronger. I feel like if I'm bigger, it'll be harder for them to push me around. And whenever you're out there with these guys, especially on my position, you need to be a little stronger to hold them, and even on the defensive end, on the rebounding, all this type of stuff. So.
Do you think the experience with the national team really helped you?
Yeah, it's different type of basketball. The best rule is whenever the ball hit the rim, you can hit it out. I wish we had in the NBA. It's a great rule, but yeah, it definitely helped me, give me some experience. Never played with any national team before, so it was great playing against other guys that play in Europe, even in Asia as well. So it was great.
Last year, I mean, you talked about last season, a lot of downs, a tough season with injuries, things like that. One of the few things that I know fans did get to cheer for last year was that you were kind of flirting with the Rookie of the Year award. You were kind of on that ladder, up and down. You were competing with the rookies to possibly win that award. Were you aware of any of that? Do you care about any of that? Do you pay attention to those types of things at all?
I'm terrible with social media, I'm not gonna lie to you. Even like the Rookie of the Month thing, there's a lot of things I didn't even know. To be honest, I just play basketball, and whenever I open my phone, usually to talk to my family, to be honest. So, but yeah, obviously they talked to me about it, so it was great having the opportunity to even compete with those guys. So it was good. Good. Appreciate it.
What's the summer been like after summer league, just kind of getting ready, getting to know people in the organization, and just kind of getting to know New Orleans?
Man, it's been great. We actually didn't really have a break, so that was kind of crazy to me. But I mean, we've been getting after it every single day. The older guys end up coming back a little bit earlier than they were supposed to, so they was able to kind of get out there with us as well. And we just really been continuing to kind of learn our concepts and learn our defensive scheme and just continuing to learn.
You said you've been working a lot with Jordan. What have you learned from him so far?
Really just the way he approached the game. I think he approached the game with a serious mindset almost every time he stepped on the court, and everything he do is kind of detailed and is broken down kind of so he know like what he's basically getting better at and what he's trying to get better at and work on. So, I mean, that's something to take away and just continuing to pick his brain, ask him questions, and he played with some really good point guards.
A lot of praise too. What is a developmental relationship with him like?
Man, it's amazing. DeJounte been around this league for a pretty long time, so I mean he knows a lot and he's been around some great players and great coaches. So trying to ask him questions and hopefully when he get back, being able to compete against him as well.
Jeremiah, everybody says that you've been in the gym a lot to the point where I think Joe even said they had to get you out of the gym because you've been in here so much. Where does that come from? And how long have you been such a gym rat, wanting to play basketball nonstop?
It's been all my life. I kind of been like that since I was younger. Just being able to go to the gym and kind of clear my head and being able to work out 3 to 4 times a day and just continuing to try to get better. And, I mean, it helps. It helps a lot. And then it's one of those things where being able to go to the gym kind of helps you in all aspects of your game, especially a quiet gym. Kind of turn the music up a little bit, just you in there. You could shoot. You can do some recovery afterwards, and it's really just like a vibe for me.
How do you feel like you've improved since we last saw you in the summer league?
Really just getting stronger. I think my body looks a lot different from when I first came, and still got some ways to go, but I'm going to continue to work on that. My shot, I've been shooting pool. You can give me some little tips and details and stuff like that. And then just the pick and roll aspect and the defense aspect as well.
Just being 18, has it hit you yet that you're in the NBA?
Man, half. I would definitely say about a week and a half ago, we was getting after it, and guys a lot more athletic and playing with the Zions, the Trey Murphys, the Herb Jones, and Jordan Poole. So, I mean, obviously we competing against each other, and pretty soon we're going to all be on the court together.
Who was your favorite player growing up? And then somebody you modeled your style after?
My favorite player growing up was definitely Steph Curry, but I mean, I don't have one anymore because we're going to be competing against them. So.
What does it mean to you to have like a lot of the vets, guys like Trey Young and UD and Mike Miller, obviously all kind of give you that big praise and kind of public, I don't know, amping up before you go into your rookie year?
Man, it feels good. Man, it's a lot that come with that. It's going to be people that have some expectations for you. But as long as you stay level-headed and could keep working, anything's possible.
What have been some of your first impressions just being around Zion, seeing the effect he has on the court?
Man, it's different. The effect he brings to the game is real. Like, he can bring you almost everything. Shooting's got a lot better, and he's one of those players that can affect the game in all aspects. So being able to put him in the right positions and talk to him a little bit, see how he view the game and how he approach the game.
What are your first impressions of New Orleans as a home and as a fan base?
Man, New Orleans was different. When I first came down, it was one of those things where I was kind of expecting it to be newer, but the more you go around the city, it's kind of historical. You visit different places of the city, and it kind of looks old, but, I mean, it got a lot of history behind it, so that's pretty dope.
Playing defense something that you've always taken to? Is that something you need to work on a little bit?
It's definitely something that I need to work on. Definitely step it up a notch when playing against some of the world's best players. So just being able to kind of learn their techniques and some of the moves they like to go to, their go-to moves, and certain positions they like to be in, and try to take that away from them.
You talked about some of the veteran guys having expectations for you. What are your own expectations coming into your rookie year?
Being able to help the team win. I mean, that's obviously the first thing. Helping us get back to the playoffs and eventually advancing in the playoffs. And then winning Rookie of the Year as well.
Jim, I want like from your first memories of Zion just growing up as a youth and a kid pretty much.
Yeah.
What do you kind of remember about him?
Man, he was super athletic. And he really affected the game in a lot of different ways. He's somebody that can go out there and fill the stat sheet and bring his team wins. And then now we're on the same team, so being able to see it in person is going to be even better.
Was it like the Duke? You remember like the Duke?
Yeah, at Duke it was crazy. They had a pretty good team. Zion did a lot to kind of help that team win, and he was a force basically for the defensive team. Whoever he was playing against, you kind of had to focus in on him and try to slow him down. And I mean that helps the team a lot, especially when you have other pieces around that can help him.
You're a high first-round pick with a lot of expectations coming in as in the guard position, but you weren't the only first-round pick for the Pelicans. And the decision to trade up for Derek Queen got a lot of negative press from a lot of people outside of this market too, a lot of national pundits, things like that. Do you have any reaction to that? And then also just what's your relationship been like with your fellow rookie? I know you guys are both super competitive.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their own opinion on certain situations. I feel like it was a smart move, especially the way we're going right now. You see us in practice, we look like a completely different team. Derek brings a lot to the table offensively. Defensively as well, he's only keep getting better. He's getting stronger, especially the injury. His legs been getting stronger, arms been getting stronger, and basically just been doing everything he can to get himself back to where he was before he got injured. And, I mean, he's going to be a huge piece for us. He's going to bring a lot to the table as well.
Before the Pelicans drafted you, did you know anything about Joe Dumars, the player?
Yeah, man, Dumars was a dog. He was going to go out there and compete, and he wanted to guard everybody's best player.
Jeremiah, what have the conversations been like with Willie in terms of maybe your role this season, what he expects from you?
Man, he's been telling me basically just kind of keep doing what you're doing. You got to be willing to learn, continue to take coaching, and basically you got to help kind of lead the team, especially from the point guard position. And that's one of the things he was constantly preaching to me, continue to be vocal, whether they're older or not, just continue to be vocal and try to put everybody in the right position, especially on the offensive end, and you got to go out there and guard.
That experience in Summer League, what did you kind of come away from it saying, all right, this is what I need to improve on in Summer League?
Really just going out there and, like Coach Willie was saying, continue to be vocal. I think I was vocal but not vocal enough. So continue to be vocal, lead my team, and basically win more games. I was really disappointed in myself when I didn't win no games. So.
Are you someone that reads into social media and like expectations and all the outside noise?
Nah, I don't really pay attention to it because, like I said, everybody got their own opinion. Everybody going to have something to say. So just continue to focus on your game and continue to get better every single day, something that's going to help you in the long run rather than worry about what somebody got to say about you.
Jeremiah, like the guys you grew up with that are also 18, and like, what are they doing and what do they think about what you're doing?
Man, they kind of doing they're doing their thing. Some of my guys is playing football. Some of my guys is in college and trying to basically get to this stage and get to this point. So I'm gonna continue to root them on. And I mean, I talk to them a lot. Like they happy for me, they excited, and they wish me nothing but the best, and I wish them nothing but the best as well.
Jeremiah, you mentioned Steph Curry as your favorite player, was your favorite player.
Yep,
now you're in the league competing. But I didn't want to. One of your teammates, Trey Murphy, has a shot. He'll shoot from the logo, and does it. He's got the green light. It's very obvious. He's not afraid to take those deep threes. You're a great three-point shooter too. Do you feel like you should have the green light already to take those three-point shots, or do you feel like you got to earn them? What would you have to do to have Coach Willie Green be like, yeah, take that whenever you want?
Definitely go out there and earn it. Continue to do what you do. Continue to go out there and compete, and basically you got to earn the coach's trust, especially being a rookie. Go out there, be vocal, and show coach basically what you're capable of. If you don't show what you're capable of, he's not just going to give you the green light because they drafted you really high. So go out there, I'm going to show him what I can do and show him what I'm capable of.
You mentioned the opportunity that you've had recently to kind of get up and down in scrimmage.
Yep.
As a point guard, what have been your impressions so far of just the talent that this roster has?
Man, very versatile. We got some bigs. We got some really big wings that we can go to. We got from the guard position, we got some really good guards. We got Poole, we got DeJounte, Jose. From the wing position, we got Herb, we got Trey, we got Murph. I mean, we got PV. We got a really good team. And, I mean, we got a lot of different pieces that you can kind of put together, and it'll bring a lot to the table. And the biggest thing for us is going to be going out there competing. Whether we go down 10 or go down 15, you got to compete to say 0-0 on the clock.
Jeremiah, are you ready to be a rookie in terms of teammates giving you certain things, you got to do chores and stuff like that? Has that already started?
Man, they already started. It was my first day. Came early. I was just chilling. And Trey was like, man, you ain't got nothing to do. Get us some donuts. I'm like, man, okay, I got you. End up getting the guys some donuts. But, I mean, everybody had to go through it. So, I mean, it's one of those things where you just got to go through it and you got to get through it.
A nickname?
Not yet. I'm pretty sure it'll come later on in the season, but as of right now, no.
What do you expect from the experience getting to go to Australia with the team?
Man, it's going to be dope. End of the day, we still got 2 games out there, so we're going out there on a business trip, and then hopefully after we get done, maybe go out to a team dinner or something, have a little fun afterwards. But we got 2 big games out there, and we got to come away with the win.
You talked about wanting to improve in the pick and roll at Oklahoma. You got downhill a lot. You operated the in-between area, got to the free throw line. At this level, the defenders are going to be a little bit bigger, faster. The coverages might be a little more dialed in. So what's it going to take for you to succeed at this level of the pick and roll?
Keep watching film. I'll say that's the biggest thing. Continue to watch film and continue to learn your angles, certain angles and certain positions you could put yourself in to attack and to succeed as well.
Drew said yesterday about he was giving everybody in the building an NFL hat to their favorite NFL team. Did you get one?
Nah, I didn't. They did ask me that question. I told him I'm not a big. He was asking about the Bears. I told him I don't really like the Bears, and he's kind of asking who's your team. I was like, man, it's kind of hard because I don't want to be a bandwagon. So I was like, I'm more of a person's type of player. I told him I like Jaden Daniels, Cam Ward, Travis, Micah Parsons, like guys like that. So
You always wear a headband when you play?
I started in middle school, and I've been wearing it ever since. But before that, I didn't.
Did you put it on that way on purpose? That logo's upside down.
Yeah.
You did that on purpose?
Yep.
What's the meaning behind that?
Man, we was wearing a Jordan logo, and I did it one time on accident. Like, it was a practice, and I put it upside down. And I was just out there playing, and I was doing my thing. They was like, bro, your head been upside down. And then I took it off, and then it was upside down. I'm like, that's crazy. And then ever since, I've been wearing it like that. So every headband I got, I just flip it upside down.
Jeremiah, you mentioned the Steph Curry thing again. There's going to be points this season where you're going to be on the court at the same time with Kevin Durant or LeBron James or some of these guys. Is there any? I mean, you can be honest. Is there any nerves at all when you're going to be sitting with those guys that you probably watched when you were a kid?
Nah, not nerves. I would say it'll be a little excitement, definitely, because you might be standing right next to him, like, that's LeBron. But at the same time, you still got to go out there and compete, because you try to be too friendly, he's going to go out there, he's going to post you, or he might try to dunk on you, and he's going to talk his trash. So you got to go out there and you got to do what you got to do. At the end of the day, you got to compete.
Can we do last questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's up, everybody? What's up? Is this on? Y'all can hear me? Or do I have to talk really loud? Valid? All right, cool. It was around draft day. I just got a call from my agent. I had a little bit of a feeling that moves were going to be made in the summertime. I just felt like there were a lot of teams making trades. I think a lot of teams gearing up for the next couple of seasons. But I got a call in the summertime. Told me I was going to New Orleans. Talked to Troy Weaver. Talked to Joe Dumars. Not too long after, and just kind of chopped it up. I was with Troy in D.C. a little bit, so very familiar. Who did? Trey? Yeah. About what?
What's that relationship been like?
It's cool. I've known Trey for a little bit. We had a couple mutual friends, so I just kind of run into him, hung out a little bit the last few years in the summertime. But you match up with these guys, you see them on the scouting report, and you know how skilled and how talented they are. And hanging out a little bit in the summer, off-season, summer league, just trying to, gain chemistry, understand the people in the locker room. So we had a really good group of guys, and it's been fun knowing everybody.
A lot of people got to know you as a young guy on that championship Warriors team, and you had to step into a different role with the Wizards. How did that experience kind of change you, having to be more of a leader, more of a vocal guy with the Wizards?
Yeah, it was dope. It was a cool experience because there were things that I learned that I wouldn't say that I would have been able to learn my first 4 years, which is just really cool to incorporate just into your career. Now I'm able to incorporate what it feels like to be on the tougher end of it when it comes to winning and losing, how to experience that, to go through the highs, the lows of a season, especially playing with a lot of younger guys, a lot of younger rookies. And obviously my first 4 years playing with a lot of vets, a lot of guys who are experienced, played at the highest level. So incorporating all that knowledge and coming over to a team where we want to win, we want to be competitive, we want to make the playoffs. Same thing all the way through the locker room with the coaching staff and the front office. So it'll be good to kind of incorporate that. Got some veteran guys who are coming to help us, but I think we're excited. A lot of fire in the locker room, and just kind of can't wait to get forward to starting the season.
What do you feel like you can bring to the school?
I mean, a bunch. Obviously, my offensive skill set, being able to create for my teammates, being able to score the ball, being able to play make, make life on the court easier for my teammates. Bringing a winner's mentality. I've won my entire life. Obviously, the last 2 years were more of a learning curve experience, but playing at the highest level is some things that you don't get to learn very often. Playing with some Hall of Fame guys, you take a lot in. I asked a lot of questions, so being locked in, being focused, how to be a professional. It's not only myself who also knows these things, but there are other guys in the locker room that we're bringing over because we have such a young team too. To kind of incorporate that, kind of set the standards in the locker room. We want to be a winning environment, winning culture. So that starts with, everyday work, and then the small things, the details, the recovery, the getting the extra shots to film. Those are things that make you really good in this league, and it becomes a habit, and it's not just like a, pick and choose type of thing.
What are your early impressions of just the city of New Orleans?
I don't leave the house much. It's hot. It's definitely hot outside. But it's cool. It's cool. My mom was out here for a little bit. She did a lot more exploring than I did, and I think something that stood out to me was just how welcoming the people are. So I played in California and I played in D.C., and both of those places are where people come and they move to these areas, to these cities. So you're not getting the actual locals, which is different in New Orleans. The people who are here are from New Orleans, which is dope because they want you to experience the good or the better parts of the city or the best restaurants or, they want to have positive outlook and positive outcomes. So it's been dope. It's been dope, but it's definitely hot for sure. No, you good.
Everybody's been talking about your work ethic. You were working out this morning just
Yeah.
before coming here. What was your daily regimen kind of look like in terms of workouts? How many times you work out a day with all that stuff?
Yeah, I can't give y'all the goods too early. I can't give it all away, but try to just get in the gym as much as possible. Obviously, when the season picks up, it's a long season. You got to tailor it to the minutes that you play or how the body feels, or if you got back-to-backs. But there's always an opportunity to get better, whether that's on the court, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's watching film, whether it's walking through plays with a coach. So it's just kind of the way I've always been. I love the game. I've been obsessed with the game. And when you play at the highest level, it becomes a game of inches, and then in those inches are the details. So those are things that you need to focus on. And it's not just a 1 or 2 or 3 week thing. This is an all-season thing. This is a career thing. So, over the course of time, when you put in so much work, results will start to show.
How's work been like with Zion?
Working with Zion, yeah, we worked a little bit. I mean, it was still off season. Team gets together. We'll be in training camp, starting tomorrow. So I think a lot of guys will be more in tune, locking in, doing a lot more, group work. If that's the case, still coming off summer, you let a lot of guys do their own thing, focus on what they feel like they need to get better at for the season. But as the season starts, I think we'll be doing a lot more, spending time together, working through some things, seeing how he likes to play, how I like to play. But that's also along with everybody else on the team. Against Zion? Yeah. I mean, I've been going against him for 6 years. We were in the same draft class, so you just see what it's like being on the other side of the scouting report. Obviously, he creates so much gravity. You need to bring a double. But I think something that has been new that I've been able to experience with him is he's such a good passer, and he gets off the ball, and he knows how to play the right way. So being able to put some spacing around him, allow him to operate, allow him to work, clear out that paint a little bit, but also knowing that he has shooters and guys who can create plays for him on the opposite side of him or on the perimeter, it'll be cool.
Joe Dumars talked about character and chemistry. You've had success at the highest level. Did you see anything in this group that kind of tells you this could be a special group?
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to have to force or go out of your way to push guys and want to be better. We got a lot of guys in the locker room who are naturally motivated, who want to come in early. There was a conversation we had where I was coming to the gym at 7 or 7:30, and then I look over at Herb, and Herb was like, "All right, I'll be here at 7." I'm like, "All right, Herb, now I gotta come 6:45," and then Herb like, "Well, I gotta come in 6:30." So we got guys who just love the game but are also competitive, which is extremely important at the highest level, and that's everybody in there. So I think that is a formula for success for sure. I mean, I just played at the highest level, and I think that's something that you can't take for granted. I think everybody in the locker room wants to win at the highest level, win a championship, playing in the NBA. And there's a thing that's there's age experience, but then there's NBA experience. When you play 120 games in a season, or you go to the playoffs and you know what it feels like to lose a game 1, and then what you need to do going into game 2, or how important it is to go into 3-game winning streak, to go into a back-to-back on the road against the number 2 team in the league right now. So when you break things down like that, how important it is, especially when we want to win games and be in the playoffs, how important the details are. And if there's any way that I can kind of just share that with the guys, because I know we all want to win. We all want to get to the playoffs. And Loon also, and DeJounte played, in San Antonio with an elite staff, coaching staff. So a lot of it is in the details, and if there's anything that I can do to kind of elevate our team with just some of my experience and the level that I've played at, I'll definitely try to do so.
How excited are you to be back with your team this week?
Oh, I'm super excited, man. I haven't had a good screen in 2 years, so it'll be dope. Just playing with somebody who's won a championship. Obviously, you go through a long season and you just build the relationship. But in terms of just basketball chemistry, for me personally, it's a really big pickup just for how I play. But I think it's huge for our team too, for the young guys, for DQ, for Misi, for opening up the floor for guys like Trey and Hawk and Herb, and just our experience, man. We got a really good group, and I think Troy and Joe did a good job of putting his unit together.
Troy, can you give some insight into Kevon Looney, since you've known him for so long and you guys are good friends?
Yeah, what you want to know?
Just what type of person he is, how he does his work, his approach, just things that that we're not privy to.
He is probably the most professional person that I've been around my 7 years in the league. Just his approach, how he takes care of his recovery, how he is on time, how he is attentive when it comes to film, how he asks questions, how he's actively trying to, put information on some of the young guys if it'll benefit their learning curve, right? These are things that you don't have to explain. He just naturally wants to give, and you need the foundation. He's extremely mellow. even keel. So through the highs of a season, through the lows of a season, for the younger guys or guys who are struggling, trying to figure it out, you can go to a guy like Moon because he's so grounded and he's so centered that it gives you more of a calming aspect, and he'll talk you through things, and that's what you need, especially in our back line, being our big man, being our center. You want to be comfortable going out there with guys you know you can trust and are locked in on the court and off the court, and he definitely just kind of visualizes that, and he makes it pretty clear for not only himself but for everybody else around him.
You play on and off the ball a lot. Just how comfortable do you feel, at least heading into the season while DeJounte's still rehabbing, kind of taking on that primary table setting role, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I've been primary ball handler for pretty much all of my career, except I think for my first year in DC, and that was just the first half of the season. But it's a strength of mine because I like to get out in transition. I feel like I'm extremely dangerous when I can get out before the defense is set, being able to space the floor, being able to get to the basket, but also playmaking for my guys, trying to put them in situations to be successful, easy situations for a drive and kick, knowing when guys need touches, but also being able to play off the ball when you got somebody who has gravity like, Zion, or somebody who can get hot like Trey. You want to be able to give these guys driving lanes and space and also play off the ball, come off screens, backdoor cuts, but also use my strength as a screener, which I learned pretty early on in my career because it creates confusion. It creates confusion not only for, the defense, but puts you in a situation to, have multiple actions. Don't have to be so ball dominant in order to affect the game or have an impact on the game. So I learned how to play a couple different ways in my career, and primary on ball is definitely where I am, but I don't mind spacing the floor, getting out in transition, being an off-ball player because I like to just make the right play and put my teammates in situations to be successful.
You have a couple of guys, I mean, Zion obviously, and he meets these guys who can catch lobs, dunks. Fans love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're an expressive player yourself, flashy. You take a lot of fun shots, and when they go in, it just
a lot of fun shots. I like it.
So what does it take to build? Is it important? How do you build a chemistry to set up those kinds of passes, those kinds of lobs? How hard is that to build that chemistry, or is it easy?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but it comes with time. It comes with communication. It comes with, as a guard, as a point guard, knowing your players, knowing your teammates, what they like, what they don't like. So, for example, I was playing with one of the bigs yesterday or a couple days ago, and they prefer an over-the-top pass as opposed to a pocket pass in a ball screen. So small things like that could obviously determine how you play with or, without some of the teammates and the players. But it comes with time. It comes with chemistry. It comes with reps. Definitely something that I like to talk through. But it makes it a lot easier being able to play with a lob threat, knowing that I'm such a shooter. So when we get into these ball screens, if the bigs drop, I mean, obviously I'll let it fly. But then if he comes up, we got guys who can just, go get it at the rim, which will be a little bit new for my career, but exciting to look forward to for sure.
Your relationship with Trey, have y'all had any shooting competitions?
Only from half court. I'm saving it for training camp, but yeah, everybody want to challenge me to these three-point competitions and stuff. I told them, give me some time, bro. Let practice start a little bit. So I'm sure once we get going, it'll probably be a lot of shooting competitions after practice.
Joe talked about conversations he had with you post-acquisition about your excitement level about coming to New Orleans and about how you were already all in. Kind of what excites you the most about your situation here in New Orleans?
Just winning, getting to the playoffs. I think once you experience that, once you experience playing at the highest level, it's a feeling that you want to replicate again. And kind of like he mentioned, I'm definitely more of an expressive player, and I like when the crowd is involved because it matters so much. You got 41 games at home, and if you could handle your business at the crib and take care of your home court, it kind of sets you up for success for the backside of the season. And I'm just ready to be invested with the team, invested with the community, with the crowd, bring the right energy, bring positive energy, just have fun hooping again. Last 2 years for me were a bit more challenging. We weren't able to win as much as I'd like, but we're coming into a situation with a new front office where that is the goal, that is the expectation. And with everybody on the same page, it'll just be fun to go out there and compete every night against a really tough Western Conference. And try to go win some games.
Do you think it would be maybe wrong or unfair for people to view this franchise through the lens of its recent past?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it's really recency bias. I feel like that's something that's pretty, like a common denominator, in our society now. It's been a bunch of regime changes too, so it takes time when you get a new front office to lay down the foundation, lay down the groundwork. But I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I was a Bucks fan. We just got good. Growing up, we was weak. They got buildings downtown now. Like, they doing a bunch of stuff. So it just take time. Take the right group and take the right, right chemistry, right situation. So I think everybody in the organization, locker room, are going to try their best to expedite that learning curve, that learning process as best as we can, and obviously try to equate it to some wins.
Early impressions of fears and the type of play we can do.
Yeah, Jeremiah got game for sure. Just, watching him, being on the court with him. He loves the game. He's another Midwest kid. He's from Illinois, which is not too far. So extremely impressed. I mean, my thing for the younger guys is try to get them to ask as many questions as possible throughout the duration of their first year, because it's just so new and it's so much that they have to learn. And just asking those questions, whether it's to me, whether it's to coaches, staff, whether it's to the bigs, it'll just make their process a little bit easier. I'm really excited just to get to work with him, just kind of see where his head is, pick his brain a little bit, try to teach him some of the nuances that I wish I could have used as a rookie. So we're in a really good situation. We got a lot of really good young guys too, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Thanks, JP.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
How are you feeling going into the season, and what's kind of been the focus over the summer?
I'm feeling really good going into the season. The focus in this past summer was, build a relationship with Joe and Troy, and just stay locked in on the game. Watch a lot of film, and I've been working with Teaspoon a lot this past summer.
And Joe's talked a lot about wanting to spend time with you, getting to know you, kind of building that relationship. What's that been like, just kind of getting to know him and see what his vision is?
I like Joe. What you see is what you get. He's gonna hold me accountable, and as he holds me accountable, he's gonna give me a lot of responsibilities as well, which I'm excited for and I look forward to. And I know he's gonna hold me to a really high standard, and if I slip up or anything, I know he's gonna be right there to make sure get right back on path.
Now, how much do you kind of embrace that responsibility, like get a chance to be accountable and all that?
I love it. I can't even lie to you. I love it. Like I said, me, Joe, Troy, we sat down and we had some man-to-man conversations. They embraced me, and I just told them, no, I'm not gonna let y'all down. If they believe in me that much, it helped a lot. It helped a lot that they really believed in me. And like I said, man-to-man conversations, they're gonna hold me accountable. But with that accountability, they're giving me a lot of responsibilities, and I'm here for it.
I know you're like a student of the game, and a historian of the game, I guess. How much does it help just knowing Joe Dumars and his resume?
I've had some moments where I'd be sitting with him, and I'm like, man, this is Joe Dumars. Like, this dude's an NBA champion, Finals MVP, and stuff like that. I'm like, this dude was a part of the Bad Boys, and I have to lock back in the conversation. Like, okay, let me see what he's saying. But it's dope because I know he sees the game in a way in how I was trained in the game. Like, how I was trained was kind of their era of basketball, so I know we kind of see the game in similar ways a lot.
So, Joe said that he talked to you about the difference between talent and greatness. What does that mean to you?
Talent is more of a natural thing. Like, you can look at somebody and go, okay, they're really talented. Greatness is every day. Greatness is when you don't want to do it, when you want to do it. If you're facing crazy adversity, good, bad, no matter what's going on, greatness, you do it every day. You show up every day, and you make it happen every day.
Zion, there's been a lot of changes to the organization since you got here, including head coach the first few years, but this is your 5th year now working with Willie. How big is that continuity and that familiarity with your head coach?
It helps. It definitely helps a lot. 5 years is a long time. Me and Coach Green, we've had a lot of great conversations. Me and him have definitely locked in on and off the court. And he can talk to me. He can talk to me and I can talk to him. We have that relationship to where, if he sees something and maybe I see something else, that I can be vocal on it, and vice versa.
You mentioned them giving you a lot of responsibilities, and that's something you want. Were you kind of envision those responsibilities being?
Whatever they needed to be, whatever the team needed to be, whatever my team needs, that's what I'll do.
You mentioned the importance of them believing in you. Could you reflect a little bit on what it is about the last 6 years that made you wonder or need to hear that they believed in you?
The past is going to stay in the past, and I'm only looking forward to the future. That's all I have to say on that.
You've played with some veterans and some really great players. I mean, Brandon Ingram's not here anymore. CJ was obviously, call it an adult in the room or super veteran, Mr. President, whatever. A guy who could really.
Don't gas that man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my dog.
With those guys not here, and you have these 2 new rookies and guys like Trey who are obviously coming along. Do you feel any pressure to be more of that vocal leader, to rally the troops when you guys are down, to not just do it with your ball, with your play, but also on the sideline?
Not at all. I don't feel any pressure, to take on that role. And I have to thank the guys you named, Brandon Ingram, C.J. McCollum, Larry Nance, and just other vets that I had as I've been on my NBA journey, and especially CJ. I got to give CJ a big shout on that. CJ really put me on game to a lot of things, watching how he carried himself, how he moved, when he spoke, and stuff like that. He really put me on game to a lot of things, so I feel like there's going to be no pressure on making that transition.
To that point, y'all have added some veterans this summer, like Poole, like Looney, who have championship experience. Like, how much do you feel like adding some of that veteran presence can help this team this year?
It helps a lot. I mean, those dudes won a championship. That's what we all strive for. So they not only won the championship, but they went through the journey, they went through the playoffs, they felt the energy, and they lived it. So that type of experience, you just can't get anywhere.
Trey mentioned that a lot of rookies coming in, they're kind of quiet, they're kind of feeling things out before they are vocal, but he mentioned that with the 2 lottery picks, they aren't.
Oh, yeah, I'm about to say, you ain't talking about our rookies.
What's been your impression of them, either on or off the court so far?
Man, I like those dudes, man. They each got their own personality, and they're not quiet. They're vocal, but they're not an arrogant vocal. They want to learn, they want to work, and I can't wait for the world to really, get introduced to them, like as a Pelican.
You mentioned the two guys that had played in Golden State that won championships.
as far as their experience and maybe some of the intangibles. But on the court, what do you look forward to about playing with, Jordan Poole and Kevon Looney?
I'll start with Loon. Iron Man kind of guy. How he gets rebounds is not just luck or something. Like you can tell he strategically plans everything out defensively and offensively, and he's one of those guys that I'm definitely going to look to a lot whenever I'm looking for those small things to get the edge over somebody, especially with footwork. I think Poole kind of speaks for himself. Like, I think our chemistry, especially in transition and wanting to play fast, I think we're going to have like a lot of exciting moments, and that's not even including Trey Murphy in that.
See, there's not a lot of flattering talk by experts, by people that have watched how this team's been built by Joe and Troy over this summer. And for instance, Trey said that he's keeping the whole photo album dedicated to all the bad comments on his phone. So how are you viewing all that's being said about this team, and how do you feel about the composition of this team?
I love the composition of this team. There was a time where I felt like Trey, where I kept tabs on it, kept notes on it. But nah, that's in the past for me. How I feel on it now, whatever you said at a certain time, when the time comes when we are in a certain position, you just got to stay over there. There's no coming over here, don't want validation. You don't even have to waste your time and say, oh, them guys really did it. I don't care. You just got to stay over there.
That's a bad boy mentality, you know that, right? That's what we're talking about here.
It can be or not. Don't really care. You just got to stay over there.
And seeing the jump Trey made last year, how much are you kind of looking for as you stepping into that role full time this year?
I'm excited. I'm excited because I've seen him. I've seen the work he's put in. I've seen the jumps he's made, and this is going to be a really big year for Trey.
What have the scrimmages been like so far? I know that Joe talked about how you guys have been getting after it the last couple of weeks in the gym. What have you seen?
You can tell with the energy that Joe has brought in the building that you're going to have to get after it. Nobody's going for none of that soft stuff. You're going to have to get after it, and as you said, kind of that bad boy mentality that we're not out here about to be crying to the refs or anything. You just do it. You just literally got to do it.
Do you have any personal goals that you've written down, or just what you want to get accomplished this season?
Yeah, I have some goals, but those I keep to myself. So when that time does come, I know how to celebrate it.
You had a couple of players say about, what kind of great shape you're in and you appreciate your body. Do you do anything different this year than you did in the past?
I gotta give that praise to Daniel Bove, trainer with the Pels. Last year while I was rehabbing my hamstring, me and him sat down and we had a conversation. He was just like, Z, we need to figure this out. Like, when you come back from rehab, we want you to be better than before it happened, X, Y, Z. What are some things you like to do? How can we make the workouts in a way to where you're having fun and you're really enjoying it, boom, boom, boom. And we came up with a plan, and from boxing to working out on the football field a lot to just different random workouts. And during that time frame last year, I really felt a shift in my body to where I would look at him and go, dude, it feels good to feel good. I haven't felt like this since college, high school, just where I can walk in the gym and I'm like, I feel good.
You spent a lot of time working with T-School, you mentioned this summer. One, what was it like just like getting back together working with her? And two, what areas of your game did you guys focus on?
That's my big sister. So it was an honor working with her. and still working with her just because she's a Hall of Famer. Like, that's my big sister, but I know who she is in the basketball world. And we put a lot of emphasis on, working in tight spaces, because usually when I'm attacking the basket, there's the lanes clogged and what reads to make, what shots to take, how to make the game easier on myself.
Now, we always ask a music question to you, so what are you listening to this summer getting ready for the season?
Man. Come on, y'all know I got Jay. Know I got Big. And I've been throwing in some different mixes. Little Herb, G Herbo, ETSG, Youngboy, Larry Jones. I feel like I've had a variety. I definitely feel like I've had a variety.
Well, Joe says he wants you to be a guy to speak to the team when things aren't going too well. How do you process that, or how do you take that?
That's what come with it. If I'm gonna be the leader, that's what come with it. So it was pretty easy to process.
You talked about you talked about you seeing the game the same way as Joe, training is how he played as well. With his presence around, have you tapped into that a little more lately?
Yes, man. I've definitely tapped in, but you got to pick and choose. You got to pick and choose with Joe. You can tell when he's in that zone where he's in the gym, but I don't think you should approach him right now. But I will say, whenever you have any questions about basketball, stuff like that, he's always more than willing and more than excited to share his experience with you.
You talk about to hold you accountable, to push you in certain situations. Do you think that's something that you enjoy, that you kind of want from people in those positions, to really push you hard, to ask a lot of you?
I do. I think that's just something internally with me. I feel like I naturally respond better that way. It helps keep me sharp.
Thanks, Zeke.
No problem.
Gee, so I know y'all got like 2 questions for me. Come on. Let's go.
What's kind of the summer been like for you, getting ready for the season, and what do you kind of think about the team?
I mean, me personally, my summer obviously went well. I just got, play basketball, getting better, getting my body right, getting in the weight room more, just try to stay as healthy as I can. That's one of my goals is, play a lot of games this year, and or at least stay healthy for all of them. So that's the main thing, my goal. And then the team, I think we got a good mix, of a lot of players with different talent that's going to be on the court, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great for everybody.
So you kind of took the hard fall with Puerto Rico. How you feeling coming over there?
I'm great. Obviously it was scary for me, and being out in another country, getting hurt that bad, it was probably not the best feeling either at that point either. So, but when I got back, everybody took care of me. It was a good process of it, but it went well, and I'm back to normal now.
What's the biggest difference that you've noticed with Dumars now leading the front office?
It's no gray areas, straight up. He's gonna tell you what it is. Tell you you don't need to beat around the bush. That's one thing you around with him at least is really well. It's no gray areas, like I said, and that's something you want as a basketball player. You want to know what it is, and you don't need to be overthinking something. So that's something I think he really does really well.
With Joe joining the team, obviously I'm sure you've heard about the Bad Boys. We've mentioned the Bad Boys, the Detroit Pistons, their era when Joe Dumars winning Finals MVP. You know, they were agitators. They didn't hide from that. They didn't mind people disliking them. The way they played was aggressive, and it was a lot of if I don't win the game, I'm going to win the fight type of mentality. You're a fan favorite for a reason. You fight, you play hard, you get the steals. You consider yourself, if you want to try to mimic some of that bad boy energy, kind of, you know, you and Najee used to do it all the time, and I used to love when y'all would come in. So
Yeah, shit. I got Joe here, so why not? You know, he's one that started all that bad boy stuff over there. So, I mean, I'm gonna just be myself. You know, I'm gonna continue being in, try to bring everybody along with me with that. But yeah, I'm gonna be. I ain't gonna say a bad boy, but I'm gonna be aggressive and be Jose, and try to mess up the game as much as I can, at least for the opponents.
Trey and her kind of mentioned how different it feels now that they're kind of looked at as vets and they got to be the voices for some of the younger guys. Are you starting to feel that way now?
I mean, yeah, it's cool, but you know, I think it's a good feel, mixture of both. You know, we got actually these guys that's coming in. Obviously, you know, the rookie class, they good. Like they gonna have it. They gonna be fried. They got guys like us to hold them down, but they gonna carry themselves very well too. So yeah, I mean, a vet here, I guess, yeah.
Talk about Jeremiah Field.
Competitive. Y'all gonna love him. Y'all gonna love him. The city gonna love him. You talking about somebody that's gonna be out there competitive and not scared of nobody. You know, that's him. You know, I love him. I love little bro. He gonna be really good for the city. He gonna be really good for the program, and he got a bright future in front of him.
Is it crazy when you think he's only, you realize he's only 18 years old?
Yeah, I know. I told him the other day. I was like, "How old are you?" And he just told me 18. I said, "Man, this is crazy." But you know, it's crazy that he's 18. Obviously, his skill level is not 18. His mindset is not 18. It's like they growing. I mean, not saying me, but I'm telling. But he's growing up fast. Like he grew up fast, and I like him. I like his game, and I like his competitiveness though. That's one thing I gonna really like about him.
Jose, we've asked a lot of these young guys, what do they think about moving to New Orleans, their first time here? You've been here now. You've been here. You've been an ambassador for the city of New Orleans. You've always spoken highly of it. Now you've had time to reflect. Now I don't know what year this is. I can't keep track. But you've been here this whole time. Can you just talk about what New Orleans means to you? And because we have seen these young kids, what they think. And I mean, you know better than anybody. What is the city? What does it mean to you?
City love, man. New Orleans is about love and care and culture. If you fight for them, they're gonna fight back, and that's one thing I always say about New Orleans. And I always felt welcome when I came here, and still always this is home. You know, I was born in New York, raised in New York, but New Orleans is my second home. I gotta say that because just off the strength of they embrace who I am as a person, and the city is beautiful in the sense of like the culture and everything. So, shout out to Nola, man. They're always showing love.
What's kind of the focus for you to kind of improve this year?
Me, keep my jump shot as much as I can. Make open shots. Be better mentally. Just diverse in the game, understanding the game well, and then also being a leader. When I'm saying, like I said, we got fears. He's next up. So I want to be as much as a hope for him to grow at his game and other guys, and watch me grow and watch myself grow as well, and just be a point guard. I hear a lot of noise. I hear all that nonsense. Well, we need a point guard. We need a point guard. So that's where I want to get to a point to have y'all can have your point guard eventually.
Playoffs and finals, there's a lot of conversation about picking up guys full court and defending in the backcourt. Does it give you like validation that, hey, the league's emphasize the things that you already do or already bring to the table and do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful because that's something I've always been doing. And it's something that, when you go to the playoffs, you recognize it more, right? Because that's the only thing this game's on. So that's what we got to do. So when we get to the playoffs or when we get there, it gets back to the same thing, but that's something the game is growing at, and I'm excited about it because it's just going in where I'm really good at.
Some of this is, I guess, because of the way that the team finished last year, but like projections and win totals are low and things of that nature. Do you pay attention to any of that, and do you use any of that as motivation?
Motivation? I don't need them. We don't need that for motivation. But we hear. I tell everybody we can hear it, but don't listen to it, because they either gonna say when we do good, they're gonna say, "Oh, we could have saw that," and if we do bad, they're gonna say, "We told you so." So it's more like you could hear it and keep it in the back of your mind in the sense of that, because when we start doing well and doing good, those same people is gonna be like, "Oh, we saw that, that team is pretty decent enough to do that." Like, so I try to tell them not to listen to it. I mean, cool to whatever they want to say, how cool shade, whatever. But I don't think the locker room feel like that. I don't think the front office feel like that. I don't think nobody in this building feel like that. So, yeah, last year was obviously a terrible year, but injury-wise. But we ain't worried about that. We came here to play. We came here to win.
You always taking advantage of the minutes you've been given, and there's going to be times this season where the starting five, maybe they're just not quite having it the first part of the first quarter. You got these rookies who probably come off the bench, and if they come off with you, how do you get them to understand it's a tone switch, because you're so good at coming off the bench and switching the tone, bringing up the energy?
Yeah, I mean, whatever opportunity, like I said, when that was pride to me, I'm gonna take advantage of it fully and get everybody going. Like you said, some days it's not gonna be the starting 5 days, and we gotta bring it in. And like I said, I got good help. I had help my rookie year too, my second year. So I got good help on the bench with me. So yeah, we're gonna take advantage of every minute we can and change the tempo of the game for sure.
You're feisty, and you're not you embrace the dirty work and stuff. Was there a player that you model your style after?
Model my style? Nah, I just looked up to my dad. My dad, I seen him work so hard his whole life. He's still to this day. So I'm not necessarily a basketball player that modeled me, like I model my game after. It's just I saw somebody that I really love struggle and still work hard every day and continue to grind it out. So I guess that's where I get my little grits from. And my family is the most important thing to me. So yeah, that's where I get my grits from, not really from a player. Good. Appreciate it.
It's good, bro.
I mean, just what's it been like going through the process, being out as long as you have, and how much you looking forward to getting back on the court?
Yeah, man, I'm a big believer in God. If you interview me or anything like that, I'm always going to mention him. I think for me, it's been a long rehab process, and it really taught me a lot, man. So I'm just grateful to be able to have the opportunity to get back on the court, and that's all I just really care about, just getting back on that first game and being able to get that rhythm again.
And DJ kind of mentioned just how much of a coincidence that this was the team that you mentioned against a couple years ago now. You're playing for this team. Just how much does it kind of feel like a full circle moment? Just kind of being
Yeah, a full circle moment for sure. I think it's just God ordained. So I think it's going to be positivity that comes out of it.
What do you know about the Pelicans, your new teammates, aside from the ones you played with DeJounte and stuff?
I've got a chance to learn and know them throughout the summer. They're great guys, work hard, and they're just like a fun group to be around. I could tell already. So we have a lot of great personalities and character in the locker room, and I think it's going to be a great, fun season.
What were your first impressions of Zion, talking to him, watching him as a teammate?
Yeah, he has a great mind, hard worker. I think he brings a lot to the table, and learning about kind of his character, his personality and stuff like that. I think I know a little bit more probably than what the media or outside knows, and I think it's just great. I'm excited to be his teammate.
And then historically, Coach Willie Green has relied on a lot of versatile lineups, switching guys who are able to defend multiple positions in and out, especially when they close games. What kind of conversations have you had about your role in all that, and how do you see yourself in it?
Yeah, I've talked to Coach Green, a good amount, and just I'm a Swiss Army knife, right? So just being able to be ready for whatever the game throws, and whatever the game calls for, and just be ready for whatever role can it could change game by game, situational situation. So, like you said, just continue to just rely on my versatility and just be ready for whatever moment. Yeah.
Sadiq, how do you feel physically? Are you back to 100%? What do you work on this summer?
Yeah, I worked on everything, mind, body, spirit. I think I feel good. I feel ready for to play game one.
Jonathan spoke a lot about how happy he was to be able to reunite with you, play with you again. What does it mean to be able to be teammates again and have him vocal and all?
Yeah, man, he's my brother for life. I think I'm excited. He taught me a lot because he went through the same thing I did when he was in San Antonio. So him giving me a lot of pointers on just this recovery process, this rehab process, and I just happy and just grateful to be able to share the court with him. Whenever he's ready as well. So and be there for him like he was there, like he was for me. So, I just can't wait.
What's kind of the toughest part of being on the sideline as long as you have?
As long as I've ever been without playing a game in my life. So I think just not playing and feeling like I can help a situation or I can contribute and not being able to do so physically is tough. And just the monotony of the grind of rehab every day, not knowing what days you're going to be better, what days it is going to be, you might feel the same for 2 weeks straight, but you got to trust that you're getting better. So I think just watching the games from the side and wanting to be a part of it is you kind of get that FOMO a little bit.
Sadiq, what could you tell us about Jordan Poole? Because you were teammates with him last year.
Yeah.
What would be interesting for us to learn about him?
Yeah, Jordan's probably one of the funniest guys I ever met in my life. Naturally, though, he doesn't even try to be. And he's a great guy, real God-fearing as well. So we have that similarity. I just feel like he's hilarious, man, and he's talented. So it's a good mix.
And you saw him always working, getting in the gym early because he's kind of built up a reputation for doing that, putting all the work in off the court.
Yeah, absolutely. His bubbly character is also, on the other side of, like you said, he's in the gym. You don't have to ask him to be in the gym. Everyone sees that he's in there, works hard, and works on his craft, man. So it's been a joy to be around.
So how well do you Jordan Hollins with both y'all being the guys?
I'm a Sidwell guy. He's a DeMatha guy, but I would say, I know of him and definitely knew, of him growing up, right? Like I'm a little older, but I know just, how talented he was being from the same area and followed him throughout college and in the league. And it's been great to see, his evolution as well throughout the years. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think about having to play against guys like Herb or Trey, and then how much better it will be to be on the same court as them, like at the same side? Yeah,
man. Herb, Trey, them type guys. Versatile, could defend, play both ways. So we've had a good amount of battles, against each other throughout, my career. So being able to play with them, kind of them knowing me, I knowing them, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good mesh on the floor, and however that looks.
What do you like to do on your days off, like to get away from basketball, to reset?
Yeah, that's been the problem for me probably for the past 10 years or whatever. Like everyone says, like you gotta find another hobby. It's hard for me to really find a hobby besides basketball. If I'm not playing, I'm at home watching basketball. So I've been trying to pick up different things. Like hopefully I can start golf or fishing or something. But usually it's all basketball. So I gotta start finding something else to do.
Herb's the fisherman, so.
Yeah, I heard.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Man, just what was it like? Just kind of moving on from Golden State, find a new team, and what do you just think about this new situation?
It's been exciting. Opportunity to do something new journey, a new chapter in my career. Just got a group of guys to play with, playing under Willie and playing with Zion, Trey, and JP and Herb. I'm looking forward to it. Leaving somewhere is always a little bittersweet, but to come to a situation like this, I'm just super excited.
What do you think you can bring to this team?
I could bring another level of toughness. Definitely rebounding, defense experience. And being available all the time, something I take pride in. Those are the things I kind of been stable in my career, and I just want to bring that over here and translate it in a new situation.
Jordan said he hasn't had a good screen in 2 years. How's it been to play with him again and just be able to pick up where you left off?
I'm super excited. Somebody that from my same city, Milwaukee, been following him closely. For us to play in the league together and win a championship, so we've been in the most high pressure situation together. So I'm looking forward to playing with him again in a new environment and trying to do something special again.
A lot of NBA fans kind of don't realize the value of stuff like screening or boxing out, some of the stuff that you've been made as a career out of. How much do you kind of embrace that stuff that doesn't necessarily get praised a lot, in the media or elsewhere?
I take a lot of pride in that stuff. I take pride in doing all the small stuff, all the hard work stuff, doing all the tough stuff, the stuff that don't always show up in the box score. Usually your hometown fans might take appreciation for it. And I know my teammates always do. So, I'm looking forward to coming in and just making an impact however I can. If it's rebounding, screen setting, diving on the floor, scoring, whatever they need me to do, I'm willing to sacrifice and go out there and do it. And I'm just looking forward for the opportunity. Mm-hmm.
Where did that kind of come from? Is it just kind of like you always been like that, or just kind of being around guys in Golden State?
A little bit of both. Something that I always been a part of. Kind of something I learned from my father. He made sure that I was always on time. He always got up every day of the week and went to work and came back and he stuck to his routine. That's something I kind of learned is getting a routine. And then being a pro, I got to learn from some of the best. They set a standard for me, and I kind of follow that, and I try to carry that everywhere I go, and I try to do the same thing for younger guys that come after me. So I feel like I've been doing a good job of that, and I'm going to come here and try to do the same thing.
What's it like being the elder statesman? I know it's weird to say you're 29 years old, but you're dealing with double digits and years experience in the NBA.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. I've never been the oldest player on the team, or not even close. I always had a real old guys on the team, so it's definitely gonna be different. But I'm here for it. I'm here to embrace it. Just don't call me old. I ain't old yet.
What are your first impressions of Zion? Have you had any talks with him? What do you think of him now that you've become teammates with him?
He's been a really cool guy from my press with him so far. I got to work out with him a few times and see him work. See how dedicated he's been this summer. I got to play with him in some pickup games and just seeing how. I already knew how good he was. When I played him in the past, that was my matchup. So I know how much of a headache he is to guard and those different things. But just to see his personality, see how fun-loving he is off the court and how funny he is has been pretty cool. I'm looking forward to even bonding even more and get to be teammates with him.
I know consistency and role is something you're looking forward to this season. What kind of conversations have you had with Willie Green on what the expectations are for you?
We talked a little bit about it. Training camp is the time to really to see your role. They can tell you how things are going to be, but you really get to experience it in training camp. So it's an opportunity here for me to get more minutes, get more opportunity, and I'm looking forward to embracing that, leaving my impact on this team. But we definitely talked about a little bit about role and different things like that and what they expect from me. And they expect me to do what I did in the past and even do a little bit more. So I'm looking forward to bringing that here, bringing that toughness, bringing that defense, and rebounding. I think we'll have a great year this year.
Talking to Jordan, and we asked him about, the championship caliber, experience and all. Same thing. Joe Dumars presses chemistry and character in this building championship.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see anything here that maybe you've experienced in the past that this could be a unique kind of group?
Definitely. Just being here, just seeing the camaraderie in the locker room. I didn't know what to expect coming in. And these guys seem to really, really like each other. They communicate really well. have a great energy to them, and back when the Golden State in the years we were really good, we always talked about having good basketball energy and having a joy to coming to work and seeing your teammates. That's really important because it's a long year, and it's being here in a short time and seeing guys over the summertime. They had that already. Hopefully that can translate to things on the court, but we have a lot of high character guys and a lot of guys that have good basketball IQ, and I think that can take a team a long way.
He told us that he's already spent a good amount of time with you, and obviously they just drafted Derek Queen. What's kind of your message to the young bigs on the team as you're kind of getting to know them?
Just showing them how to work, showing what it takes to night in, night out, to what it takes to be a anchor to a team on defense in this league. I got to learn from some of the best of them, so just sharing the knowledge that they pass on to me. Learning how to communicate as a young big is probably the biggest thing that I know I had to learn, and I've really been really good at over the last few years, just being able to talk through coverages and different things like that. So, and learn how to screen, that's something that I'm really, really good at, and your guards and other teammates appreciate when you're able to do that for them, and it ends up turning into easy buckets and easy things for you as well. So just small things like that. I'm looking to pass on to them. I'm also looking forward to learn from them, and they got a new freshness to the game, a new different approach. So I'm just looking forward to getting that energy and learning both ways.
With Willie and JC on the staff, do you feel like it's going to be a little bit of a quicker transition for you to pick up? Like, there's not going to be a gap between terminology much from your time with the Warriors and some of the concepts and ideas that they work with.
Definitely. I've been in the league a long time. The game changed, but a lot of teams run the same stuff and kind of have the same terminology. If they do have a different terminology, it's still kind of the same action. So, I take pride in being a smart player, so I think I'll be able to pick it up pretty easy. And having guys like JC and Coach Green and Coach Aaron Miles is people that I've been around before and played under. So it's definitely been an easy transition for me. I'm coming in already feeling comfortable with everything and comfortable with the coaches as well. So it's been a blessing.
Already, but is there a difference in approach or just an overall vibe coming from the Warriors to a team that won 20 games last year? The national media doesn't have picked to finish as a playoff team. What are your thoughts on that, and how do you approach that?
My approach is it's definitely a little bit different. Different players, so different group. Guys in different stages of their career, so it's definitely a different approach for me. But it's the same goal is to win. I feel like I've seen this team win a lot of games. Last year was a rough year, and I've been in a situation where injuries hits the team, and it was a year in Golden State we won 15 games, and it was terrible. But we were able to bounce back and make a run over the next few years after that. So I feel like we have the talent to be really, really good. I think we just got to go out there and compete, and I think we can prove a lot to the media and a lot of people wrong. I think everybody's going to have a chip on their shoulder. I can tell these guys are really, really competitive, and everybody's hungry to take that next step. And everybody is in a point in their career where they really want to prove themselves. And I think when you get that together and with the chemistry that we have, that we can do something special. It wasn't that long ago this team was competing for the playoffs. I remember playing them. They beat us in a big game for playing and Trey had like 40 or something crazy. So I know how good this team can be and how special this group can be, and I'm looking forward to be a part of that, and hopefully I can help our team reach our potential.
What do you know about the fan base and the city itself here?
New Orleans has a rich history. Throughout my time in the NBA, I had an opportunity to play here in the playoffs. So I know how loud the fans can get and how much they love their team. They just want to just show up and be there, especially when guys are really competing and they really embody the personality of the city. Hopefully I can help be part of us winning a lot of games and making a playoff push. And I know if we do the right things and we play the right way, and I know our fans are going to show up and support and be loud and get behind us. And I'm looking forward to that, and it should be really exciting.
Based on your interactions with him and also knowing about his history, what can you say about Joe Dumars?
He's been great so far. Getting to know him, his honesty, he's really, really approachable. He really loves to talk the game of basketball. He really cares about the player's perspective. He's been on both sides as a player and a GM, so he knows what it takes, and he knows how it takes to have a good locker room. He's been a champion as a player and as a GM, so just getting to learn from him and pick his brain, it's been really, really, really cool. Like I said, he knows what it takes to build a winning culture. So I think he's putting the right guys in in situations to succeed, and it's been cool just to learn from him. And I always heard about him from afar, and watched my dad talk about him, the way he played and what he did on the court. So to get to really know him and meet has been really, really cool.
Why New Orleans? Why did you want to come here?
Like I said, I played against this group. I know it's a young team that has a chance to really be really special. I want to be part of a team that is striving and moving in a direction where they feel like they can make that jump. Sometimes you go to a team, it feels like it's a total rebuild, but I feel like they already had the pieces. They just had to be healthy, and I feel like I can come in and make an impact. And be part of a culture that's a team that's making that next ascension, and seeing the pieces they had, seeing the people they was putting in position of management kind of drew me to here. And a city like New Orleans is a great city. Every time I came here, it's always great to play here. The people, the fan base, and I'm just looking forward to embracing, putting myself in the culture.
You said that you're not old earlier. I just wanted to know from you directly, at what age do you consider home?
I would say unk age is probably, I played with real unks that was in a 30, 35. I played with a couple 40-year-olds, so I know what real unks look like. Shout out my man, Andre Iguodala. He was like 45 when he was playing with me. So I would say about 35 is the age you can be considered. In the NBA locker room, 34, 35 is the unk age in the locker room, not 29.
Obviously, there's no one like Klay Thompson, but do you feel like you can recreate some of the chemistry that you maybe had with Klay, with Trey Murphy here, who's also a great shooter?
For sure. I don't really like making comparisons or nothing like that. No, they're different players and different stages of their career. Klay's one of the greatest shooters that ever played his game, and I think Trey has those same aspirations, and he has a chance to be really, really good. So I'm just looking forward to building a chemistry with him, learning how to play with him. I haven't got a lot of time to spend a lot of time on the court with him, so I'm looking forward just to picking his brain, see how he sees the games, learning his favorite spots, and being able to do what I do for him, getting him open. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we can create a great chemistry. And I think the sky's the ceiling for him. He has a chance to be one of the best players in our league, and hopefully I can have an impact of making him reach that level he wants to.
How strange is it going to be not to have Steph around? Just not seeing him.
It's definitely going to be different. Steph is one of the greatest ever played. Just to not even just him being around, just the hoopla that he brings when he steps into the arena, traveling with him, he's a rock star. It's probably gonna be a little bit different, but I learned a lot from him, being around him, so I can carry all the stuff that he taught me, and how to be a professional, how to be a pro, how to carry yourself on the court, how to treat fans, how to treat people around in the organization. I kind of learned from him. He's one of the best to ever do it. So it's definitely gonna be different. But I'm excited for this new journey, new opportunity.
What's the craziest thing you saw him do, as far as just on the court? I know it's a lot.
It's a lot. In practice was probably the time he hit 105 threes in a row in Chicago. That was pretty crazy. He did so many things. I could pick a game a week where he probably did something outrageous, but the most thing I probably remember about Steph is our time in Oakland at Oracle. The third quarters he used to put on, and the way that he had the full control of the crowd. He was like a conductor. He just got everybody going, and he'd do his little dances and shimmies and turn around threes, and we'd be down 10, and then by the end of the third, we'd be up 22. So those memories in Oracle I probably always remember.
Well, how would you break down Herb's defense? You played alongside Draymond for so many years. Where would you rate Herb among the best defensively in the league?
Right now, I think he's one of the best. Definitely, for the wing position, or wing guard position, I would say he's top three. He's a guy that he can disrupt your whole offense. He gets in the passing lane. He's on the ball. He's always the guy that was impossible to screen. So I'm looking forward to being a tandem with him, playing pick and roll defense with him, picking his mind about what he sees and how he approaches the defensive end. I had the honor of playing with guys like Draymond, Andre. They was some of the best defenders that our league had ever seen. I think Herb has the chance to be in that caliber. I think he's in that caliber. I think he gets to show himself that he's one of the best to do it. So I'm looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think we can cause a lot of havoc on that end.
What was it like seeing some of the reactions from your former teammates, coaches, when it was official that you were leaving? It just seems like they had a lot of respect for what you brought to those championship teams.
No, it was bittersweet. To get that respect and that love from guys that you went to war with for so long, and for them to, like these guys are all-time greats. They're respected. They're gonna a lot of them gonna be Hall of Famers. For them to show that level, love and respect for me, it was definitely cool. Like I said, it was definitely bittersweet. But I'm even more excited looking back to going back and competing against them guys. I know how competitive they are, and I kind of learned a lot from them. So just to go back there and go against them, and hopefully I get a couple wins up on them, and I can always hold it over the head. So I'm looking forward to that.
One or two more guys. Steph probably has the most gravity on the court in terms of how he changes the coverages and like the spaces available on the court.
Yeah.
Zion is not entirely dissimilar, but it's on a completely different side of the court, right? Like in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
What's the challenge going to be, for you, like working with this new set of spacing?
I'm not sure. I don't think it's gonna be that much of a challenge for me. He draws so much attention. He puts so much pressure on the rim. It kind of changes the way. It probably changed the way I got to be ready to be on the floor. But I think it make a lot of things easier for me as far as like offensive rebounding. He puts so much pressure. Guys that I got to go try to block his shot, they got to load up. They can't really worry about me where I'm at on the court. So the opportunity to cut, space the floor, get offensive rebounds is going to probably be a little bit easier for me. Steph is a thing where they always put two on the ball. You could be open in the pocket. You had the opportunity to make a lot of plays and playing 4-on-3 and different things like that. But playing with Zion, I'll probably have a lot more opportunities just to cut and be spaced out. I've been working on my 3-point shot, and there's just a lot more offensive rebounds. He puts so much pressure on the rim. 4 or 5 guys got to go collapse on him. That makes my job easier as a rebounder just to go in there and cause havoc. So I'm looking forward to it, and learning. Definitely gonna be different, a learning experience just because I never played with nobody like that before. But I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's gonna be something easy for me to adapt to.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, how you doing?
So, what's been the focus for you during this summer, and what are you hoping to kind of improve on going into this season?
So trying to get healthy, trying to get my body right, get my mind right. I think that was the biggest thing. Like really focusing on my body this summer. Trying to add weight. Try to stay healthy as long as possible through this 82-game season, and I was very strategic with that, and so yeah, that was like the biggest thing.
You said at the back and everything is feeling much better than it was last year?
Yeah, 1,000%, yeah.
Are you fully healed, and have you been so for a few months now?
Yeah, I've been healed this whole summer, honestly. I've been playing this all summer. Haven't been an issue all summer. So, yeah.
Have you and the Pelicans and your agency had any conversations about contract extensions, anything like that?
As of now, no, not right now.
What are your personal goals entering this season?
Just better than last season. Anything better than last season, honestly, to be honest with you. Just try to win some games, play as much as possible, just do anything to help my team win. So.
How tough was last season for you, just mentally?
It was tough. Not being healthy is like my really first real injury of my basketball career, honestly. So it was tough, but I learned from it. All you can do is learn from it and then come back stronger. So this year I'm my 3rd year under my belt. So kind of know what to expect now. So yeah.
What's it been like getting to know about Jordan Hawkins or Jordan Poole? Sorry, I got too many Jordans.
Yeah.
Because I know that when you first entered the league, you talked often about Steph wanting to model yourself in his practice habits, and Jordan Poole actually played with him for a few years. So have you had discussions about that? And
Absolutely.
Basically assimilating anything in your game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely picked his brain on like what it was like winning the championship, like being with Steph every day, seeing him work every day. So it's definitely something we've been talking about, and even himself, he's a vet as well. He's played in the league, has a championship as well. So definitely picking his brain as well, see what he does and how I can add it to my game, and honestly doing all the guys I meet, no matter where they are, who they in the NBA, just trying to pick their brains. Still something for everybody. So.
Pretty much every coach you talk to, they're like, Jordan just doesn't miss shots in practice. I know you have really high standards for yourself when it comes to the game. Just what's the next step for you to kind of like carry that over, when you're playing?
Be who I know I am, honestly. Just be that guy I know I am. A two-way guy just running around the floor, making shots, making plays. Yeah.
What do you say about Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen?
Yeah.
They're not your normal rookies.
No, not at all. I actually played DQ in high school, so I already know he was a talented guy. Jeremiah is unbelievable that he's only 18 years old. Very advanced for his age. Ultra quick, like the fastest person I've seen with a ball in a while. So, yeah.
Folks like us on the media side love to talk about the importance of year 3, kind of establishing who you are in the NBA. Does it kind of feel that way for you that this year is going to be a really important year?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like every year is very important. Every year in my career is going to be very important. Just like I said, just be the guy I know I am. Not going to put too much pressure on myself. Not going to psych myself out of saying like, Jordan, you need to do this, you need to do that. I'm just going to play my best and be who I am. So.
Did you know Sadiq pretty well just from
Yeah.
where I grew up?
Yeah.
What do you think he can bring to this team?
Just toughness, Villanova guy, so he's a winner. He's a winner, plays the right way, makes shots, 3-and-D guy. So.
What is it like to have, or how much does it help to have someone like Angel in the family who's also playing basketball at a high level?
Yeah.
What is it?
I mean, it's pretty cool, but we all knew Angel was going to be special ever since we were young. She was running stuff on the court, telling us where to do, telling the boys where to go, me and her brother. So we all knew she was going to be special. So, yeah.
Thank you, Jordan.
So, it's good. It's fun.
Think about where you want it
I know. It's sad. What's kind of been the focus, as you kind of going through the rehab process, trying to get ready for the start of the season? Conditioning. I mean, I'm very limited right now. Just conditioning, lower body and one hand, like form shooting.
We were told that you know who Lance Armstrong is now.
Yeah.
Joe Dumars kind of told the story.
Yeah.
Talk about what you can do though, and what your goals are before you can actually like use your hand.
My goals are get like my lower body stronger, get more shape faster, get my core right, and just build muscle memory in my one hand form shooting. So when I put my other hand on the ball, it can be cash.
Are you trying to run it
Yeah, I am. I am.
Really good basketball in your head.
What has Looney and BC done to help you? How have they been beneficial in your
I haven't really spent a lot of time with those guys yet. Like Eve, he was in Cameroon. He been here like a week or two, but we had different times of like training, like when we worked out. So I really haven't spent a lot of time with him. And Loon, it's like year 9, I think 8 or 9, something like that for him. So he just came. So I haven't really spent a lot of time yet.
Where are you like mentally just having to go through what you're going through?
I'm fine now. Just I'm almost at the end. Hopefully a month or a little bit over a month that I'll be ready to play.
What was it like at the beginning when it happened?
Yeah, it sucks because it was like my first time ever missing games, and like my first ever real hurt. Like, am I going? Can I get like? How long is the process?
how long will it take? Will I be able to play the first game? Just a lot of questions.
Are you expecting them to be ready for the start of the season?
I hope so. I don't know. I hope so.
I know you haven't been your only taste of action was in the summer league, but what does it feel like just being in the NBA now?
I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I'm just, it's cool. It's fine. It's just waiting to get out there on the court. I really don't have like a feeling yet because like I haven't been around all the guys or been on the floor yet.
So you haven't really had to endure any rookie hazing or anything like that yet?
No, not yet.
You haven't been told of your duties?
Yeah, I've been told a few.
What's it like just getting familiar with the city, getting to know some of the people here and just get to know your new home?
I actually don't leave my place a lot. So I need to, but I mean everything is like kind of close to where I'm at and stuff. So it's like it can be a drive or a walk, like a few minute drive or a few minute walk, stuff just in and out of places. So I really don't talk to nobody. Have my hoodie on, just leave, just go in, get food or whatever I get and just leave right out. I don't make conversation.
Derek, you said you haven't really talked to all your teammates yet, but who have you connected to the most since you got drafted?
So like I have talked to all my teammates. It was like in the locker room, like we'd talk, but like it's just different periods of times where we working out at. But sometimes we all end up in the locker room just talking and stuff. But I feel like definitely my locker is next to Trey and both of the rookies is the main people I've been talking to, really. And Herb also, just like it's just scattered around a lot. But I feel like they the four like that I see like mostly and talk to mostly.
From summer league till now, what have you learned, both like kind of like working with the people that you're conditioning with, but also kind of watching maybe some of the vets who've been in and out of the building, just the level of intensity that it takes to succeed at this level?
Yeah, I be telling Stan, the strength coach, that I be like, when I be watching them hoop, like they just be moving, they just be running up and down the court and stuff. So I'm just watching while I'm on a bike, and just trying to get out there and just going to keep up with the pace and the intensity and stuff.
Do you feel like you've made a lot of progress in your conditioning, despite not being able to play a lot of basketball?
I mean, yeah, I haven't really been on the court to sprint or test best. I mean, I've done like a few like basketball drills, like with bodies out, but I had my brace on, and of course nobody touched me, stuff. But like I felt good being out there.
What does it feel like for you knowing that, Dumars and Weaver, they wanted you so bad they did trade that next year's first round pick, just knowing that they value you so much to be able to make that trade?
I mean, yeah, we just gonna go out there and win this year. Hopefully I can have a good rookie season, have a good team season, make the playoffs and stuff, and just turn I mean, not necessarily turn the program around or the organization around, but to be better than the past years.
Jim told us that he talked to you about like conditioning, what you can be doing now. What have your conversations been like with, say, Willie Green?
Yeah, Coach Green. He just asked me what was my concerns. He see me over there working, and like. I mean, like we'd talk briefly. He asked me how my day going and stuff, but not really dissecting yet because he do got all these other guys to focus on right now. But hopefully we're gonna get a chance to chop it up, talk.
How much have you been able to see Zion kind of put in with this summer, and what do you think about just the way y'all gonna be able to work together on the court?
Yeah, Zion athletic and of course, I watched him over the years, and hopefully I can throw him a lot of lobs, just get him open, set screens for him, and stuff. Just helping, like just him putting me in good positions, and hopefully I can put him in good positions for us to work off each other, like I'm throwing lobs, setting screens and stuff. I mean, he ain't gonna throw no lob to me, but him just help me out, just be a teacher.
A lot of people are excited about your potential as like a modern day big passing, playmaking. Do you watch guys like Şengün or Sabonis?
I watch him a little bit, and Joe D always send me like reels about them.
Instagram like that?
No, I don't know. I don't know what is on. I think he haven't sent me one in a minute, but I think it's like I think he screen recorded or somebody sent it to him or something. Is it?
Thank you.
Gotcha.
So Carlo, I mean, what's the summer been like, and what's kind of been the focus for you trying to improve going into this season?
It's been great. Not gonna lie, it's been really great. Had national team in between, so it was really good. Probably the best part of the summer, for sure. As it's always been. I love to play for national team, so real good. The focus on this year, probably most of the body, and then everything you learn around the basketball, as it should be always, you know. So, but mostly the body, I think. I worked on the body the most, I think, this summer.
And towards the end of last year, you were starting to get some steady runs with the regular squad. What did you kind of learn from that experience, and how do you kind of build on that going on?
I think I get the pace of the game more, you know, just learn the teammates, and then kind of after that, you went like smoothly. I think I told that before even, but yeah, it was great though. I think learning this NBA basketball, kind of how it moves, how it goes, I enjoy it. That's the thing I really learned, have to enjoy it, and then just trying to keep it more consistent and getting more like, what's the word? I want to get more in rotation, you know. So I'm really excited about that thing. So I'm looking forward to that.
A lot of new faces around here now. What's that like, just getting to know all the guys?
Oh, it's been great. Ever since I come in the facility this summer, it's been great. Like, people be really positive. Everybody's talking to each other. Communication has been great. So it's really been a good, like, welcoming. You know, it's really good. Happy place.
Talk to Kevon Looney yet? And if so, what are those conversations?
We got in a little bit. Definitely a great vet. Somebody that wanna be around this whole year. He worked with the coach. I worked for a little bit, Coach Decky. So definitely wanna be around him this year for sure.
I wonder if your conversation has been with Joe Dumars since he got the job here. Has he talked to you about what he expects from you, and just what are your impressions?
Yeah, it's been great. He wants to be a really good teammate. Like he said, he wants dogs on the court. You know, he wants the people that want to compete, and that's probably the biggest thing he was emphasizing. So it's been more about that one, and a really great guy, positive guy, chill. So it was nice to meet him too, like a legend. So.
Carlo, I seen you at your autograph at Sports Drink. You know, just what are some of your favorite parts around the city and things to do?
I still didn't like explore that much. Like, I've been around some stuff. I like to go at the same places most of the times. You know, I like the Doris Steakhouse. I like Osteria Lupo, like I said before. Sophia, one of my like dearest ones. But Sports Bar was nice. Met the people. It was great. Want to go there a little bit more often. Great comedy shows and stuff. So really like that. Enjoy that. So I'm like open to exploring more stuff. Like, definitely need recommendations for some things. Definitely.
Towards the end of last season, Willie started a lot more on those double big lineups, using you as 4 and 5. Do you feel like that's something that kind of fits your game, being able to go back and forth between those?
Yeah, definitely. Working that a little bit more this summer too. Playing at the 4, you know, being out. Definitely a new thing for me. Never played before. I never played the 4 position ever. Like, even in younger ages, never. So it's new, but I enjoyed it. Some games I had really good games playing the power forward. So I'm looking forward to see like how it's gonna look this year. Like to play with 2 big men, you know, sometimes. So
it's been exciting though.
What have you made of Jordan Poole, your new teammate? Have you seen him scrimmage or anything?
Yeah, we
like
played
that?
together. We played together. Great guy, great communications. Told me what he wants from me, at the scrimmage. I really appreciate that. The communication at a high level helps out like really much. So great guy. I cannot say no word for him. Like great guy, good communications. Like we were working out together, positive, happy. So like glad to have him on the team. Cool. Thank y'all. Easy, solid.
Been like just getting adjusted to NBA life, learning a new team, all that kind of stuff.
It's been really good. It's been fun getting in the gym with all the guys who've been here, a lot of the younger guys. So it's been fun just competing and learning the system. I think I've gotten a lot better. I've gotten a lot stronger. So I can't wait to show it on the court.
And obviously this team has a lot of really good wins, accomplished guys, Trey, Herb. What did you kind of try to pull from those guys in the time you've been around?
I've just been asking a lot of questions about on and off the court stuff. They've been through everything I'm about to go through. They just said to just keep asking questions. Guy like Herb, I've been asking just defensively, like what's his mentality? How does he get his steals? Because we do things a little bit different, but it's always good to learn from a great defender like himself because I believe he's the best defender right now in the NBA, and I want to get there one day, so I'm going to continue to ask questions.
What did you kind of learn about yourself during summer league? Just like what you need to work on?
I didn't really get to play too much. I played one game because the second game I played, I was really hurt. It's a faster paced game. I don't think it was equivalent to what I'm gonna see in a real NBA game because it was a lot of guys that I've played against in college and stuff. So it's gonna be a big difference. But just the pace, where I'm gonna get my shots. Just coming from college, I had the ball in my hands at all times. But now I'm gonna have to play off the ball, play out the corners, and that's what I learned. Just how to play out the corners, and I'm gonna get better on the NBA court.
You talked about working on your body over the summer, especially since summer league. What else did you work on, like parts of your game? Anything? Did you focus on anything specific?
I focus on everything in my game, but mainly just shooting. I got better throughout college. I ended shooting 40%, but I want to do that at the NBA level. It's a farther back line, a different ball, so you have to get used to that. But I've made some really big strides in that, and like I said, I can't wait to show it.
Good.
Appreciate y'all.